the clouds are starting to clear in Pittsburgh as your Chicago Cubs get ready to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates in Game 3 of this three-game series. First pitch around 12:35. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dodge Cubs pregame live alongside Dan Plesac, the true Dr. Doolittle. Just ask his horses. I'm Mitch Robinson. Rain in the area of Pittsburgh. The human rain delay on the mound. Steve Traxel. Sit back and enjoy. We may be getting to know each other very well, and at least the Cubs in this one are coming off a very big effort by Carlos Zambrano and have a win to build on.
There's no question about it. I think if anybody, Carlos Zambrano needed this for not only for himself, but I think the rest of the guys on the team, they're really expecting a lot of him, and the Cubs are in a position, 3 weeks left to go in the season, and really this division is theirs to win. Milwaukee coming off a win last night. I mean, right now, if you were to ask all the teams in Major League Baseball, would you like to be in first place or tied for first with 3 weeks to go, they would all take it. It's up to them now if they play well the rest of the way out, and it's a great sign seeing Carlos Zambrano getting the wheels put back on last night.
Well, the Steelers are playing against the Browns in Cleveland, meaning the only people in Pittsburgh are Cubs fans and our Josh Mora, who's been covering the Cubs all weekend. Josh joins us now live from Pittsburgh. Josh?
Hi, Mitch. Yeah, kind of a home game on the road for the Cubs here in Pittsburgh today, where it has been raining all morning. But good news, the tarp is up. I just talked with some of the guys on the grounds crew within the last 15 minutes. They say all the rain that is around us is of the very light variety, and it's kind of breaking up as it gets here. So we are going to have an on-time start. We should be able to play this one straight through. And that's certainly good news for the Cubs, because so far for Lou Piniella today has been all about work. He's trying to figure out, on the heels of Carlos Zambrano's excellent performance last night against the Pirates, where he should go next in the rotation. His normal day would fall on Thursday, the last game of the Houston series. Lou Piniella has debated to maybe try to hold him out until the first game of the St. Louis series in St. Louis on Friday. But for now, though it's not set in stone, he's leaning towards having Z start in that final game in Houston, although there is a lot for him to consider when making that decision.
It's complicated because the last 9 games of the season, we have 2 days off. And a lot of these guys are falling on these days off. So we're trying to maneuver around it and still give ourselves the best chance.
Are you guys still buzzing about Carlos last night and what it means to have him pitch that well for this team?
Yeah, man, he came in and did a great job. I think even there in the last inning, still was making good pitches. I know his pitch count was up, but he looked extremely comfortable and calm throughout the game. Got ahead of batters and even got a hit. So it was vintage Zambrano, and he looked great, man. We could use that for about 4 or 5 more here toward the end for sure.
And here's the lineup for Lou Piniella backing Steve Traxel today. It's very right-handed heavy against Matt Morris, because since he has been with Pittsburgh, right-handed hitters have fared much better against him than left-handers have. Cliff Lloyd gets the day off, day game following a night game, and they want him at full rest for Monday's game against St. Louis. Mark DeRosa is in the lineup, but a little further down in the lineup. He was hit by a pitch last night in the left arm and wasn't sure if he was going to be able to play today, but after hitting in the cage this morning, he says he's fine, and he will bat in the 7th spot and play second base. Now, this is the first of 3 games in 3 days in 3 different cities for the Cubs. That might sound arduous. Same thing that the St. Louis Cardinals have to go through as they come to play Chicago at Wrigley Field tomorrow. And Lou Piniella says that the best way for the Cubs to deal with it is to treat it as just an extension of this 3-city road trip.
We play 14 out of our next 21 games on the road. Fortunately for us, we played well on the road. We've held our own. I think we're going to have to step it up and do a little better.
And the truth is, both the Cards and the Brewers have similarly arduous road schedules. The Cubs have a couple more games on the road, but both the Cardinals and Brewers still have series against other teams outside the division that are contending for playoff spots. The Cardinals have a series at home against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Brewers have a series in Atlanta and another one against the San Diego Padres on the last weekend of the season, in a series that could mean something for both teams. The Cubs' meaningful series, as far as the other teams being meaningful, really really come down to the series with the Cardinals. So the Cubs have it in their control if they can take advantage of the teams that aren't in the playoff race, and that would certainly start with a win here in Pittsburgh against the Pirates today. Guys?
Wow, Josh pulling out arduous 2 times. Not bad. Enjoy the game, buddy.
Nice, you too.
Of course, I have to learn what that means. Let's take a look at today's I'm not that smart. Pitching matchup brought to you by IPA. Steve Traxel making his second start since being traded to the north side. In his last outing, he did what you expect. His 5th straight quality start, meaning he lasted at least 6 innings, allowing 3 or fewer runs, although he didn't factor in the decision. The Pirates counter with veteran Matt Morris comes in 1 game under 500 in his only appearance as a member of the Giants. Morris was shelled by the Cubs, giving up 8 runs in 4 2/3 on July 19th. How about this from Morris? He's in line for only his 2nd losing season of his 10 in the majors. And Dan, you talk about Matt Morrison when he came over to Pittsburgh, and that was the big question. Why would they make it?
That was a head scratcher. You know, you're talking about 2 teams, the Giants and the Pirates, both seemingly out of playoff contention. You very rarely do you see a starting pitcher, a frontline starting pitcher, a guy at 1, 2, 3 starting pitcher moved to a team that's a last place team like the Pirates were. But it may be a case simply of them trying to get a veteran presence to mix in with the young starting pitchers that they have on their team. And he can be awfully tough at times. He's pitched fairly well since he's been a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here crossing up his catcher right here, who I'm sure wasn't too happy about catching one off the chops. But he's a quality pitcher, and the Cubs are going to have their hands full with him this afternoon.
Steve Traxel as he takes the mound, and here's the guy that if you're playing defense behind him, you know you could be out there a while, but he did what he does. He just got slow and steady over the plate and had a pretty solid game in his debut.
I think this was a really big pickup. You know, the back end of the Cubs starting rotation with Sean Marshall and Rich Hill, you have a couple of young, inexperienced left-handed pitchers that really, I don't want to say you hold your breath, but this is all new territory for young pitchers. And these games are very, very meaningful. And Steve Traxel, this isn't his first rodeo. He's been here before. He's pitched with some big market teams. He's pitched in the postseason, getting down, you know, the games get nitty-gritty in September. I thought this was a terrific move on the Cubs' part. I mean, it's not like you're acquiring somebody that's going to be a Cy Young type pitcher, but a solid pitcher. It'll keep the Cubs in the ball game. And he did really what they wanted him to do in his first start. He kept them in the game, gave them a chance to win. Unfortunately, the Cubs let it slip away when he came out. They were only losing 3-2. Unfortunately, that game got away late. But I think you're going to see him. He's just a good, steady pitcher.
It likes to eat up some innings. Carlos Zambrano could almost hear the cheering in his head. After losing 5 straight, the Cubs' #1 guy held the lead over the Pirates last night and watched as the bullpen made it stick. A much-needed win as the Brewers picked the same time to turn around their slide. Let's look at those highlights. And the Cubs got out early in the first inning in this one. Derek Lee, following Ryan Terrio's 2nd triple of the year, smooth single into left. Lee's 73rd RBI of the season, and Cubs were up 1-0. Big Z was on early. Came out dealing in the 2nd. Jack Wilson's a swinger. In the 4th inning, Ronnie Paulino ends it. Zambrano 7 strikeouts through 4 innings of work. In the 5th, Fonzie steps into one and steps out. 2-run Jack, watching it fly. His 23rd of the year that leads the team, and the Cubs had a 3-0 lead. And that was enough for Zambrano. He gets Ian Snell looking. Zambrano struck out 8. The Cubs win it 5-1. So looking at the standings, well, the Brewers, as I mentioned, were able to keep pace with a 4-3 win over Cincinnati, but the Cards fell a game back. They lost in Arizona in a wild one. The final was 9-8 there. Of course, the Cards coming to Wrigley for tomorrow's 1-game makeup that the 2 teams need to get in. All right, so Dan and I just get ready to start it. We got plenty more coming up on the pregame show. First pitch around 12:35. It's the Cubs and Pirates. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good job, innit, when you think about it? I mean, basically, I help people save money, don't I? Like, I tell people they could save hundreds by switching to Geico. They go to geico.com, maybe save all this money on car insurance, and the next thing you know, I'm like invited to their wedding or whatever. One bloke actually asked me to be his best man. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, look, don't matter. Look, point is, if you want loads of friends, giving away money, it's not a bad idea.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Lots has changed over 4 generations, but one thing that's remained the same is the great taste of Rosati's pizza. For 40 years, the Rosati family's secret recipes have kept people coming back for more. Authentic pizzas are made by hand, always with the freshest homemade sauce and ingredients. Deep dish, thin crust, there's something for everyone. Or dive into the cheap, delicious Italian beef with melted mozzarella. Rosati's Pizza, a tradition of quality for 4 generations. Log on to myrosatis.com to find the location near you.
Hey, Chicagoland, looking for a career change? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. IPA had another winning year and is now hiring appointment setters and inside sales representatives. IPA employees are building careers. The 600 employees at the Northwest Suburban office love working at IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542, weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
The Range Rover for 2007, designed for the extraordinary. Visit your local Land Rover Center.
Welcome back, everyone. Getting ready for the Pirates and the Cubs. You know, any rain day would be further wrench in the machinery. As Josh mentioned, the Cubs ready to play 3 games in 3 cities today in Pittsburgh, back at Wrigley tomorrow for the makeup game against the Cards, then off to Houston to begin their series on Tuesday. So you really want to be able to get the guys out on time, get them back here in Chicago, and get a little rest before you start moving again.
You know, one of the things that can work in your favor when you're going through a little bit of a schedule like this, 3 games, it looks awfully tough. But a lot of times, if you can get this win today in Pittsburgh, get a little bit momentum, get back to Chicago, get back tonight, get off to a good start. Hopefully you're playing the Cardinals tomorrow at home. And sometimes a little adversity at this time of the year kind of wakes you up a little bit. It's going to be difficult on the guys traveling. But listen, it's to the point of the season now. 3 weeks left, 3 weeks today. It's to the point now where, listen, all these games are very, very important. And this is a big stretch of games for the Cubs.
Thanks for stretching. I figured out what to do next. Let's go out to Pittsburgh and get to Len Casper and Bob Brentley, the 2 guys who call the game.
Thanks, Mitch and Dan. Kind of an interesting pitching matchup today here in Pittsburgh. A couple of mid-season acquisitions and guys who've done this a lot in their careers. Steve Traxel and Matt Morris.
A couple of crusty old veterans hooking up here today. Matt Morris will be making his 30th appearance against the Cubs in his career. For Steve Traxel, this will be his 17th start against the Buccos.
I don't know if you ever went through something like this, but 3 games in 3 different cities in 3 days starting today.
Well, and I think Lou Piniella alluded to it earlier today down in his office, that you just treat it like another road game. There's really nothing else you can do. The ball club's going to leave Pittsburgh after the game, fly to Chicago, get 1 good night's sleep in your own bed, play the ball game tomorrow afternoon, and then right on to Houston.
I think the one thing we have learned here over the last week or so is that Milwaukee has gotten it back. They had struggled for a good 2 or 3 months, but they're keeping pace with the Cubs, so it's imperative that the Cubs continue to play well.
Well, and it's all about the offense for the Milwaukee Brewers. Their pitching struggled at a time when their offense wasn't scoring a lot of runs. That's not the case anymore. Fielder and Braun just hitting the ball out of the ballpark with regularity.
Last thing, Mark DeRosa took one off the left wrist, hit by a pitch in the 9th inning, but he's going to play today. And again, unless something's broken, the starters are going to go out there and play.
Well, especially the veteran starters. You know, Mark DeRosa knows how important he is to this ball club and that they need him in that lineup somewhere. So he was here early at the ballpark today getting treatments and is in the lineup today.
And it's dry for now. Let's hope it stays that way. We'll have all the action at the bottom of the hour from Pittsburgh.
Thanks, guys. Dan, what river is that? Is that the Allegheny, Ohio?
That's the Allegheny right there.
Oh, you sure it's not the other one?
There's a bottle.
Yeah, stay with us. We'll be right back. Mahaganila. Our Just for Men Stay in the Game highlight comes from last night. Reliever Carlos Marmol enters the game in the 7th with the bases loaded and no outs. Marmol gets the next 3 batters out and only allows 1 run to score. Carlos Marmol kept the Cubs in the game. You too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Hey everyone, Len Casper and Bob Brenly here.
How would you like to hit the links with us this summer?
Presenting the 2nd annual Swinging Away with Len and Bob sweepstakes. You and a guest could win a round of golf with us at Cantini Golf in Wheaton.
To enter, log on to ComcastSportsNet.com and fill out an entry form.
The 2nd annual Swinging Away with Len and Bob sweepstakes presented by the Chicago District Golf Association for everyone who plays the game.
When life comes at you fast, you can depend on 2 things, Chevy Tahoe and OnStar. The 07 Tahoe comes with 1 year of the OnStar Safe and Sound plan, including help if you get locked out or your truck is stolen. And diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. And it's got the best coverage in America. Chevy and OnStar, for life at any speed. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way, or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
J.D. Power Automotive Ratings. Everybody wants them. We've got them. See them for yourself in our new interactive video buying guides, now at vhix.com.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
Welcome back to Cubs Pregame Live. After spending his first 9 seasons in the big leagues with the Pirates, Jason Kendall returned to the Steel City for the first time since going to the A's and now Cubs. A fan favorite throughout in his time in Pittsburgh, Kendall returns with the idea of sticking it to his old organization. Josh Morrow caught up with the catcher and has this.
All right, thanks very much. Jason Kendall played 9 years with the Pirates. This was your first weekend when you had a chance to play here again as a member of the visiting team. Was the reception and the experience more or less of what you expected?
It was really cool. It's good to come back. You know, I had some good years here and met a lot of good people. But you know, bottom line is trying to win ball games. But it was good to see some people, clubhouse guys, and you know, some guys that watched me kind of grow up and mature as a player and as a person. But like I said, bottom line is once the game starts, it's all about winning.
We got a couple of hits in last night's win, the big double, and you got to third base as well. And you caught Carlos Zambrano last night. How much does it mean for this team to have him, and what was different about him than in his previous starts?
Maybe a little bit of luck here and there. He hadn't been throwing the ball that bad. Maybe some bad luck, not scoring runs for him or whatever, but you know, he's the ace of the staff, and he's you know, you feel good when he takes the mound, and you feel like you have a good chance of winning. So he pitched very good last night, and I'm sure he'll be doing that the rest of the season.
And today you have Steve Traxel. What is the experience like catching him? What value does he add to this rotation?
He's experienced, number one, and he knows how to pitch. He's been around the game. I think this is his 14th year or whatever it is for a reason, and he knows how to pitch. So definitely a good addition. Our starters are definitely horses, and with him, you know, joining it, it's be a good stretch for the next 25 games. So game by game, old boring cliche, but that's how it really is. But with our staff and our pen and we're starting to hit the ball a little better, went with a little funk. I think we'll be all right.
Last thought, you played here long enough to know what it's like to be in Pittsburgh when football season starts. There's a good chance this crowd is going to be all Cubs fans. That could be very interesting for you guys.
Yeah, when it's definitely a sports town, but definitely Steelers are the big team here. But once 1 o'clock, it's strictly baseball for us, and yeah, it's a big sports town.
Right, go win the series.
All right.
Okay, that's Jason Kendall. Let's go back to you.
Thank you, Josh. Looking at the numbers in 43 games with the Cubs, he's hitting .286. He has a homer and 15 RBIs and has scored 17. The on-base percentage is very nice at .379. Dan, you know Jason pretty well.
His rookie year in the big leagues in 1996, I was a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He made the team right out of AA baseball. He's made himself a very good player. There were some questions early on in his career about his catching. Before he had an awful accident at first base, broke his ankle and had some problems with some ligaments. He doesn't run quite as well as he did early on in his career when he was one of the few catchers in baseball that was a threat to steal bases playing from behind the plate. But I'll tell you one thing, he's very good at handling a pitching staff, and I think you're going to see him and Steve Traxel work really well together this afternoon.
Among your catchers that have had the pleasure of catching one Dan Plesac, who's your favorite?
Charlie O'Brien, without a question. I mean, I was fortunate in my career to throw to a lot of really good catchers, but Charlie O'Brien, when I was a member of the Milwaukee Brewers, was a terrific catcher, great at calling games. He was actually Greg Maddox's personal caddy there for a couple of seasons with the Atlanta Braves. Just an all-around good catcher. He received the ball well, threw the ball well. Hitting was another story, but tremendous catcher.
Good at giving the high fives, a pat after the game?
Yeah, he's probably watching in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. Charlie, shout out.
That's so bad. Recently, Derek Lee was named the Cubs recipient of the 2007 Roberto Clemente Award, given to the player who best exemplifies the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions to his team. We take a moment to remember Clemente for his accomplishments, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Stay with us.
Roberto Clemente made his biggest impact on the national stage in the 1971 World Series. In 7 games versus Baltimore, Clemente batted .414, had 12 hits, and knocked out 2 home runs. That was enough to get the Pirates past the Orioles, as Clemente was named Series MVP.
Here's Jax. We're gonna make some big changes. Yeah, free live music and not an Appletini in sight. Excuse me, ma'am. 2 more highlights for my friends here. All right? Get on up here. Is this thing on? Woo! Jax Bar, congratulations. Your support for the High Life shall now be immortalized. Light it up. Woo! Why y'all let me do that? The High Life is on.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Of course Geico sponsors Mike's Race Car because they insure everything race car fans love. RVs, motorcycles, ATVs. Tell you one thing they can insure. Lauren Wallace. Because Lauren Wallace is made of lightning. Those guys are like, hey, where's Lauren? He was just here a minute ago. I'm 100 miles away, son. Ready to strike.
Geico, saving you money on insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
Cubs pregame live on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Dodge dealers. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life.
You can bet the Cubs know that the Brewers opened up their game against the Reds, going back-to-back-to-back, Jack. Ryan Braun also in on that list. 3-0 in the first. And the Cardinals at 3:40 Thompson against Davis. Thompson 6-5 with an ERA of 5.07. Now the moment everyone's waiting for. Dan Plesac's Lexus, key to the game. Dan?
Well, I think there are really two simple keys for this afternoon's ball game. I think right off the top, if the Cubs can get 6 strong innings out of Steve Traxel, keep them in the game, give the offense a chance to do something. And one of the things the Cubs did last night that they haven't been able to do the last couple of weeks is to strike early, give this pitching staff a little bit of breathing room. If they can get a couple of runs early, let Steve Traxel settle down and get into that bullpen, and then let the Cubs bullpen take over with Howery, Marmol, and Dempster. Should be in good shape. And I think the other key is with Matt Morris, to be a little bit patient with Matt Morris. Usually with veteran-type pitchers, they're going to give you a chance the first couple innings. So if the Cubs can get some runners on base, try to get that big hit early on, try to break this game open a little bit, give Steve Traxel a little bit of breathing room.
When you look at the picture, the way it's come down, we've got 3 weeks left in the season. Some people would say, good, if the Cubs do make the playoffs. You got a team that is used to playing under the pressure of having to win every game, and they're on a roll, and they get into the playoffs, go there, rather than taking about 10 days, 12 days off and knowing you're in.
Well, I think the big key is you have to get there. As the St. Louis Cardinals proved last year, they were playing about as poorly as anybody in baseball late August through the month of September. They really, if you want to talk about backing your way into the division, they almost let the Houston Astros creep right back in. It's all about getting hot at the right time. And one of the keys when you get into a short playoff series is starting pitching. If your starting pitching is good, the Cubs could be very dangerous if they get in. If Zambrano was throwing well with Ted Lilly and Jason Marquis, you get into a short 5-game first-round series, anybody can beat anybody, and that's what makes it so tough.
You brought up Zambrano. What would you do? Would you have him pitch the last game against the Astros, or would you push him back a day and let him take game 1 against St. Louis in that series?
You know, I look at it this way. I think the Cardinals are going to be the main competition. I mean, the Brewers are playing well right now, but the Cubs would have the ability really to take the Cardinals and pretty much bury and wipe the Cardinals away for the rest of the season. And you would think if you can dodge Roy Oswalt, you have a pretty good shot of beating the Houston Astros. They're a team right now that's really kind of struggling, and a team that you think you should be able to score some runs off. It's really going to be, I think, one of the keys the rest of the way out is it's obviously the pitching, but this offense needs to strike. It's got 3 weeks to start to put some runs on the board. If they can do that, I think the Cubs have a very good chance.
What Lou Piniella and every other team in baseball has been able to do in these final couple of weeks here is shore up that bullpen and give the guys some rest. Some of these minor leaguers coming up, getting an inning here, 2 innings there. Some of the guys aren't as taxed, so you're looking at fresh arms pretty much in that bullpen for the Cubs.
Well, you're looking at fresh arms, but basically with 3 weeks left, it's going to be Carlos Marmol, Bobby Howard, and Ryan Dempster. And you know, it's to the point now where you would have hoped that the Cubs could have gotten themselves a little bit of cushion now, where in the last week to 10 days, you could have given Marmol and Howery a day or two, try not to pitch them back-to-back days, but really all bets are off right now. Every game is so important. They're tied with the Brewers, and if they're going to have to pitch in, say, 15 or 16 of these remaining games, that's just going to have to be the way it is.
What about your boy Scotty Air? He's had a very solid second half. Yeah, he's always been good at getting in there for spot. If you're not using him, if you use him for 1 or 2 batters, don't you see he'll fit into that mix nicely?
Yeah, there's no question. And I'm not saying that he's going to be the type of guy that's going to pitch you 2 scoreless innings, but if he can come in and get some big left-handers out in the remaining 3 weeks, it may not be that he's going to save any games or pitch any extended amount of innings, but if he can come in and get some big left-handed hitters out, it'll be a huge plus.
Let me ask you, I don't know if it has something to do with your career, why you ended up in these cities. You played in some dog city towns. I mean, like Pittsburgh, nice city, but the teams never do anything there except for the 70s. So what does that team have to do to turn that organization around? You got young kids that come up, but to me, they remind me a lot of the old Montreal teams. You get some studs, and as soon as they get to be anything, they take off for another city.
Well, the difficult part is when you have a young team, it is so difficult to find good young pitching. And when you're a team that's in a small market like the Pittsburgh Pirates, you don't have the luxury of going out and saying the free agent market, taking a run if Carlos Zambrano would be a free agent. You can't really designate so much of your payroll into 1 or 2 pitchers, and if your team isn't solid around that, you could have a pretty good pitching staff, but it's really difficult. Unless you have good pitching, you're always going to be 1 or 2 pitchers away or 1 or 2 players away. It's just hard to get that right blend. If you develop some of your young pitchers, you don't have the luxury that teams that Chicago, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, that can go out and fix some holes during the winter.
Philly was another dog town you played in. Hey, that's Dan. Please check out Mitch Robinson. We'll see you after the game, and be sure to tune in after the Bears game goes final, the premiere of the Bears post-game show, The Blitz. Everybody, talk to you in a bit. Bye.
Last night, Carlos Zambrano pitched himself out of an extended slump, limiting the Pirates to 2 hits. And he didn't have to do it by himself. The Cubs provided some leather and timely hitting as they kept a share of the division lead. Cubs and Bucks in the rubber game. Next. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on an overcast Sunday afternoon, and we are set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the rubber game today after Carlos Zambrano and company pitched the Cubs to a big 5-1 win to even up this series last night. And hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs dropped game 1. They won game 2. They go for the series win today. And let's check in on the updated standings. And the only change is that the Cardinals are now 2 back.
I think Josh brought up a good point in the pregame show. The Cardinals playing against another team that's looking for the postseason. They're going to manage. They're going to play that game a little bit differently than teams that are out of the race. So Diamondbacks playing the Cardinals tough. We love it.
And Milwaukee with a comeback win. They scored the winning run in Cincinnati in the 9th last night. Pitching matchup today, Steve Traxel against Matt Morris. This should be interesting.
Should be an interesting matchup. Steve Traxel beat the Pirates earlier this year pitching for the Mets. For Matt Morris, he lost to the Cubs earlier this year, and Ted Lilly. You see their comparative numbers. Steve Traxel his last time out against the Dodgers, and Matt Morris against the Cubs back in the middle of July.
Well, coming up from Pittsburgh, Alfonso Soriano will lead the Cubs into action. He hit a big 2-run homer last night. We'll have the Cubs and the Pirates coming up.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserved your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way, or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Lucky you. Your local True Value has everything you need to take care of life's little surprises, and you'll get in and out fast. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Replace it, repair it, restore it, enjoy it at K&K True Value Hardware, 18th and Grant Street in Bettendorf.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Your local area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Rico, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit, and by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit Southwest.com.
Well, the threat of rain this morning and into the early afternoon, but the tarp off, and we will get this thing underway on time. Cubs and the Pirates in the decisive game of this 3-game set. Right-hander Matt Morris taking his final tune-up tosses, and let's check in on Lou Pinella's Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Alfonso Soriano leads it off. Terrio, Lee, Ramirez, Matt Merton getting the start in right. Jock Jones in center. Mark DeRosa was a bit iffy. He got hit on the left wrist by a pitch in the ninth, but he's set to go. Kendall and Traxel the battery.
Take a look at the Pirates defensively. Nate McLaughlin left, Nigel Morgan in center field, Steve Pearce over in right today, Batista, Wilson, Sanchez, and LaRoche across the infield for the Pirates. Ronnie Paulino once again doing the catching for veteran right-hander Matt Morris. Morris making his 29th start of the season, his 8th as a member of the Pirates. See his total numbers for the season.
Pirates in the Sunday pinstripe vests. And the first pitch misses. We are underway. 77 degrees. Called strike, and it's now 1-1. Morris has a sign from his catcher, Ronnie Paulino. And a curveball is in there for a strike. And let's get back into that weather report. High humidity, a little bit of a wind, and yeah, wet forecast. We just try to get out of Pittsburgh dry. That's kind of the goal every time we come here. And hopefully with a series win. Soriano hooks a ground ball to Jose Batista, who throws him out. Well, the acquisition of Matt Morris raised some eyebrows, because you had a Pirates team that was not really going anywhere here in the National League Central Division. He was acquired at the trade deadline on the final day of July for outfielder Rajay Davis and a pitcher Steve McFarland. And when he was acquired, he became the highest paid Pirate ever. Just over $10 million this year, although the Giants paid a healthy chunk of that before they dealt him. He has not fared well against the Cubs lately. He has lost his last 5 starts. Backhanded play by Sanchez, and Terrio gone. With Morris 33 years old, next year he'll make $9.5 million. They have a club option on him for 2009. For $9 million, there was no money involved in that deal. Many times a deal like that would be considered a salary dump, but that was not the case.
Well, and to be honest, the Pirates are in a rebuilding situation here, given the first half of the season that they had. And Matt Morris is taking starts that one of the young Pirate starters could possibly be taking down the stretch here. Just a very puzzling trade. Everybody in baseball, I think, was confused by that one. And as far as his stuff on the mound, nothing has really changed. He'll work his fastball both ways. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. He has a big over-the-top curveball. Throw an occasional straight changeup. Everything's just a little shorter and not quite as sharp as it used to be for Matt Morris.
Coming back on a 2-1 pitch. And Derek Lee will be a ground out victim. Low throw, but LaRoche handled it. So 5-3, 4-3, and 6-3 for Matt Morris. Steve Traxel will go after the Pirates offense when we return to Pittsburgh.
Fellas, leave the tight pants to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
What was once a measure of precision is now being taken for a little drive. An available 6-speed automatic. Paddle shifters. And highly responsive electronic power steering. The Lexus IS. At your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
I am your idea, and I'm huge. Tab me, bind me, stack me, send me round. I'm your big idea. You can't stop this. I'm your biggest idea. And Rico moves me, shows me, sends me. Leaves me behind, but never in a bind. It's the big time. I'm your big idea. And Rico's how we go and go and go.
Leave the tight pads to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Let's check out the Pirates Southwest starting lineup as Steve Traxel will make his second start with the Cubs here in 07. Niger Morgan is in center. He's had an impressive series. Nate McLouth is in left for Jason Bay, who has right knee soreness. Sanchez, LaRoche, Bautista hitting fifth. Steve Pierce is out in right. Xavier Nady dealing with a concussion. Ronnie Paulino hitting seventh. Jack Wilson eighth, and Matt Morris ninth.
And let's take a look at the Cubs defensively behind Steve Traxel today. Brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Soriano in left, Jones in center. Matt Merton getting the nod in right field today. Ramirez and Terrio once again on the left side. DeRosa and Lee on the right side. Jason Kendall, the former Pirate, doing the catching today for the veteran right-hander Steve Traxel. I mentioned earlier that Traxel had beaten the Pirates earlier this year. That, of course, is not the case. He was in Baltimore. That was 2 years ago that he last pitched and won against the Pirates.
Cornerman in against Niger Morgan, and ball one from Traxel.
Boy, and what we've seen from Niger Morgan in this series, not only do the cornermen have to play in, but the middle guys have to cheat in a step or two as well. Blazing speed.
Called strike on the outside corner. Randy Marsh, the crew chief, is calling balls and strikes in his 26th year at the big league level. Bob Davidson at first base. Hunter Wendelstedt at second. Sam Holbrook is at third. In the air into center, Jock Jones is there. Came in a couple of steps to retire Morgan.
Boy, ideally, this will be a good ballpark for Steve Traxel to pitch in. He's a fly ball pitcher, and we've talked about the enormous amount of territory out there in left center, straightaway center, and right center field. If he can get the Pirates to hit fly balls in that direction, he should be okay today.
The ball was not carrying last night. There were probably 3 balls, 2 hit by Cubs, the other one by Jack Wilson. Many thought were going to leave and did not. So I guess it's good and bad for the Cubs. The ball Wilson hit ended up being a sac fly. It almost was a game-tying grand slam. He said he hit this ball better than he did the home run Friday night.
At this point of the ball game, the flags were hanging straight down. It was a very muggy, humid evening, and he made a bid in the shortest part of the ballpark, right down that left field line, and fortunately Soriano was able to get over there and make the catch right in front of the wall. Only a sac fly, only 1 run scored.
Traxel from the far first base side of the rubber. 1 ball 2 strikes on McLouth. With 11 home runs on the year. He just missed catching Alfonso Soriano's 2-run home run in the 5th inning of game 2. McLouth began the night in right, but then moved over to left when Jason Bay went down with a knee injury. You see a few sprinkles falling. See that left shoulder a little wet of Steve Traxel, but nothing serious. Derek Lee backhands. Traxel gets over to first base, accepts the throw, finds the bag. 2 down.
Watch Steve Traxel get off that mound. Those veteran pitchers, they know where the outs are, and with the Gold Glover Derek Lee over there at first base, you better get over there and cover the bag on a ground ball to the right side. Traxel doesn't have to be told twice.
Well, what a start in Cincinnati. The Brewers hit back to back to back home runs to start the ball game. Weeks, Hardy, and Braun with 3 consecutive home runs to begin the game. They would go on to score 4 times off Phil DeMatre. They would knock him out. He didn't even record an out. Tom Schern is now on for the Reds, who have scored a run in the bottom of the first. So they go to the second. It's 4-1 Milwaukee. Ben Sheets is on the mound for the Brewers. That could be a wild one today.
I was behind the plate for a ball game when the Giants played the Padres. I can't remember what year it was, but the Padres started out the game with back-to-back home runs by Marvell Wynn, Tony Gwynn, and John Kruk.
Merton topples over. He gave it a great effort, just could not get there. Being held up by a couple of Cub fans, actually. Great effort by Merton, and he gets a nice hand from a lot of Cub fans in attendance.
Boy, unfortunately, he's okay. Look how low this fence is where Matt Merton gets over there. That fence is knee high. That is just a ridiculously dangerous area of this field. Boy, that could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness Matt Merton's okay.
A 2-strike count on Freddie Sanchez with that open stance. Pulls it on the ground. Ramirez throws him out. So these two veteran right-handers, Morris and Traxel, no problem in the first inning. We'll go to the second. Ramirez will start things for the Cubs.
We're not going to make it.
Can you get us to the airport in 15 minutes?
Cheaper than a change fee if we miss our flight.
As with all airlines, it may cost more to rebook your flight, but on Southwest, we never charge an additional fee.
You are now free to move about the country.
That's Rusty Wallace, amazing driver. He's also my third cousin once removed. That's his brother, Mike Wallace, driver of the Geico Chevrolet. I could see why Geico sponsors Mike. And when he does well, people will think about saving money on car insurance. Whereas if I were driving that car, all they could think about is, there goes Lauren Wallace, greatest thing that ever climbed into a race car. Poor fella, he has no idea.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The 2007 Chevy Equinox. It comes with a 5-star crash safety rating and something Ford and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America, including the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Protection never looked so good. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Join the post-game party on Comcast Sportsnet as I break down every Bears game with former Bears Dan Jiggets, Jerry Azuma, and Jim Miller. We'll bring you the Bears press conferences after every game, and William Jackson is live outside the Bears locker room with player reaction. Plus, Jerry Azuma gives out his coveted Jerry's GQ Award to the best dressed Bear. Trust me, you don't want to miss U.S. Cellular Bears post-game live after
Aramis Ramirez hits the first pitch of the second inning deep to right, and it is caught by Steve Pierce. About halfway through the warning track. Ramirez gave it a ride, but just a long out.
Another ball that appeared to die when it got out there in straightaway right field. Coming off the bat, I thought it had a chance to at least get off that out-of-town scoreboard out there in right field, but very thick, heavy air here once again today at PNC Park.
Now the Cubs right fielder Matt Merton. He takes a fastball away. Ball one. As a Pirate, Matt Morris is 1-2 with a 5.18. He has not yet completed 7 innings in any of his 7 starts as a Pirate. Beaten at Wrigley Field as a San Francisco Giant earlier this year. 11-8 in his career against the Cubs. He's faced them a lot. This is his 30th appearance and 27th career start. And there's a base hit for Merton. So he's the first base runner for either team. And he's 2 for 2 against Morris.
And we heard Josh talk about it on the pregame show. Matt Morris has actually done much better against left-handed hitters since coming over here to the Pirates. Lefties hitting only .218, right-handers hitting .369 coming into play today, and Matt Merton with a clean single back up the middle of the field.
Now, do you attribute that to his good curveball?
You would have to think so, but the curveball is equally effective against the righties and the lefties. I'm not really sure why there's such a disparity for Matt Morris. He's a guy that's normally been fairly even, if anything, a little better against right-handers. Usually when you see numbers like that, it tells you that the right-handed pitcher either has a real good straight changeup that he'll fade away from the left-handed hitters, or a real good split-fingered fastball that he'll throw down low in the zone.
Three and 0 the count on Jock Jones. One out in the inning. Merton gets his lead off first base, and Jock swinging away, and he fouls off to the left. So Jock getting the green light. Cubs scored a first inning run last night, a triple by Terrio, and then Lee knocked him in with a single. They were able to tack on later. Merton runs. That's ball 4. First 2 are on. And here's Mark DeRosa. You see, he has protection on the left wrist. He was hit by a pitch in the 9th inning. Francolis Osorio nailed him. He would come around to score, but this one literally knocked him down.
Caught him on the back of the wrist, kind of ricocheted into his rib cage a little bit right there. Knocked him down to his knees, but right back in the lineup today.
Squibs it off the end of his bat, not hit very hard, and Sanchez has to take the short out at first base. Second and third, 2 outs.
I have to tell you, Len, I'm a little surprised to see DeRosa in there. Not only did he get hit by that pitch last night, but if you look at his career numbers against Matt Morris, it would figure that this would be a day you would give Mark DeRosa off. He was 2 for 17 coming into play today. It's a 118 lifetime batting average, and you couple that with getting hit by a pitch on the wrist, it seemed like this might be a day to give D-Row a day off, but he's right back in there.
Morris goes from the windup as Jason Kendall received a nice hand, showed bunt, took a strike. He's 2 for 5 with a double and a run so far in the series in his return to Pittsburgh.
Seen a lot of Jason Kendall jerseys in the ballpark. Some of them are blue with or white with blue pinstripes, and some of them are old Buccos uniforms. So a lot of Jason Kendall fans here today.
Into center field, a base hit. Merton scores. Jones is going to be sent. Niger Morgan won't even attempt to throw to the plate. And Kendall burns his old team. It's 2-0.
Good approach by Jason Kendall. I think this is a great approach against Matt Morris. Contact hitters, guys that just try to get the barrel of the bat on the ball, put it in play, figure to have better success against Morris. If you try to overswing and generate a bunch of power, he will change speeds on all of his pitches. But Jason Kendall choked up on the bat, just punched one into center field to drive home a couple.
Well, that's always a good situation for a guy like Kendall, where a single can give you 2 runs. He's not afraid to shorten up. Bouncer up the middle by Traxel. That's going to squeak through. Kendall takes a look. He's going to hold it second. First hit of the season for Steve Traxel. Now 1 out of 8. And Alfonso Soriano's not going to be shooting for a single in this at bat.
No. Always good to see your pitcher get on base, this time with a big bouncer up the middle of the field, but especially when your leadoff hitter is Alfonso Soriano. We talk about it all the time. A lot of times that lineup rolls around. You have an RBI situation for your leadoff man, and You know, he needs to ground one through the infield or bloop one in front of the outfielders in order to drive home a run. We know what Soriano is capable of doing.
Cubs on the board early. Jason Kendall with a 2-run, 2-out single. Good rip. 1-1. Missed the curveball. 1-2.
Boy, a textbook example by Matt Morris of expanding the strike zone. Threw a big breaking ball that probably started about letter high on the outside corner and just broke off the plate down low and away. Tries to go out in that same location with a fastball, this time a couple inches off the outside corner.
It's now 7-1 Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Ryan Braun has hit 2 home runs, give him 30 on the year. What a year he's had. I want to say May 24th was the day he was brought up to the big leagues, and he has 30 home runs. Kicks away from the catcher, and that ball goes out of play right near the corner of the screen. So second and third now on a wild pitch.
Matt Morris has always been a guy that needs a catcher who can block the ball behind the plate. Mike Matheny did such a great job for him all those years in St. Louis. He bounces a lot of those curveballs when he gets ahead in the count. It's on his catcher to make sure he keeps that ball in front. That time Paulino could not.
And the payoff pitch popped up by Soriano near short for Jack Wilson. Yeah, May 25th, Ryan Braun was called up. 94 games. He's hit 30 home runs. Kendall with a 2-run single, and the Cubs lead early on.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
A lot of car ads are focused on getting you in right now. Like, if you don't hurry, you're gonna feel like a fool. But think about how you're gonna feel when things like gas mileage, low maintenance, and resale will really start to matter to you. Like every day that you drive your car. That's when a Toyota will make you feel like a genius.
Did you know that both the Toyota Corolla and RAV4 were rated excellent values by IntelliChoice? Just one more reason Toyota is a great way to keep moving forward.
You have to be here.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Tickets are available now for Cubs games here in September. In particular, tomorrow's makeup game at 2:20 against the Cardinals should be fun. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Cardinals lost last night. It was a wild one in Arizona. Cardinals were down 3-0. They then led 7-3. They eventually dropped in a 9-8 decision. Brad Thompson will start today against Doug Davis a little bit later. Cubs would love to go home 3 up on the Cardinals and a game up on Milwaukee. But again, the Brewers blowing out the Reds early, and here it's 2-0 Cubs. And his cleanup man Adam LaRoche will bat. Steve Traxel in his second start since being acquired from Baltimore. This is his first start against the National League Central here in 07, and LaRoche cranks it deep to right over Merton, who will play the carom off the NL out-of-town board. Close play, save. LaRoche just got in. Now, I haven't actually walked the track out here, but I think there's some fencing right in front of the actual board out there, which actually deadened the impact of that carom coming back to Merton.
Well, you're absolutely right. You can see it there behind Matt Merton, protecting the out-of-town scoreboard, that chain link fence. And when this rocket line drive hit that fence, it just pretty much dropped straight down on the track. Merton shied away to play the carom, and ultimately has to run out on the warning track to pick up the baseball. It was still a very close play at second. Either a better carom or a couple more steps out onto the track, they probably get LaRoche at second base.
Jose Bautista, the third baseman. Now, we can sit here and ask the Cubs, do you pay attention to what the Brewers are doing? And they could maybe say, no, not really. But in the case of Matt Merton, he almost ran right into the Brewers' red score. The ball landed right beneath where it says 7-1.
Yeah, it's hard not to notice it when you're standing a couple of feet away from it. I think all the players notice it. Certainly Lou and his staff notice the out-of-town scoreboard and what's going on in those games. The reality is you can't do anything about those games. It's interesting to look at and see where the other teams are in their ball games, but you just need to take care of your own business right here at PNC Park.
I suppose you could go out and try to talk the workers out there on the board to just swap the 7 and the 1. Might make you feel better.
Might make you feel better, but ultimately you're going to find out that the scoreboard was wrong, right, and yeah, right. You don't want that.
Ground ball to the right side, moving LaRoche up a base. DeRosa throws out Bautista. And it brings up Steve Pearce, getting the nod in right. 6th start in right. He's made 1 start at first base. Made his major league debut last weekend in Milwaukee. And he was 3rd in RBIs with 113. 3rd in total bases, 303, and tied for 6th with 31 home runs in the entire minor leagues when he was called up. Low and outside on a curveball, ball 1. He began the year in high A, then at double A, then triple A. So this is his 4th level already in 2007. 40 doubles in the minors for Pierce. Hits that ball hard, and it's an RBI single. And it's 2-1.
You can see why the Pirates are excited about Steve Pearce and the year he had in the minor leagues this year. He takes a very aggressive hack up there at the plate. Grits his teeth and drives that ball right back up the middle of the field for an RBI single.
He's not that big a guy when you think about the power. 5'11", 209. But he packs a punch. Inside on Paulino. Boy, Carlos Zambrano was terrific last night. He had Paulino tied up in just about every at bat. 112 pitches, 6+ innings, 2 hits allowed. That was it. Charged with 1 run. He walked 5, struck out 8. I guess Carlos has left the team to deal with a personal matter today, but you know, one of the issues is going to be, will he start Thursday on his normal day at Houston, or will he be pushed back one day to start that Cardinals series on Friday? It sounds like Lou's going to start him Thursday. He's had a lot of success versus the Astros, and if Lou did that, if he moved him back, his options would be Kevin Hart, the rookie, or possibly bringing Traxel back on short rest. So nothing is official, but the guess here would be that Carlos will pitch Thursday.
Well, and you want to do whatever is going to get Carlos to perform the way he did here last night. All of his stuff was working extremely well, and throughout the course of his career, he's always pitched better when he stays on regular rest. So as big a series as that is against the Cardinals, you hate to upset the entire wagon train here by altering the rotation just to get Zambrano on the Cardinals. Every game is big. You need to win every ball game you play. So my own personal opinion is keep him on his regular turn. Let him start against the Astros. As you mentioned, a team he's done extremely well against in the past.
A 1-ball 2-strike count on Paulino's 10 for his last 18, and that even includes an 0 for 3 last night. Pulls it foul past Jeff Cox.
Boy, and you mentioned what a good job Carlos did against Paulino last night. You can see Ronnie Paulino really steps in the bucket. He starts with a wide open stance and stays open as he approaches the ball. He's looking for something middle in that he can pull to left field. Zambrano showed him a couple pitches off the plate inside and then went right back away with the slider. The good tailing fastball. He had Paulino tied in knots last night, looking for that pitch inside and never got it.
Steve really slowing things down with a runner on base. Kick in the pitch. Great snag by Kendall on the bounced pitch. And that keeps the double play in order. And again, another play that will not show up in the box score.
Yeah, a bounced fastball, and I've said it many times. A catcher always anticipates a breaking ball or a split finger or a changeup might go in the dirt, but you never anticipate a guy's fastball bouncing out in front of home plate. So nice job by Kendall to slide over there and make a backhanded stop.
Two-two pitch. Lofted to left, a little slip by Soriano, but it doesn't cost him. Went back and then tried to come in, and his back foot gave way momentarily.
Yeah, it's not raining hard right now, but it did rain hard earlier this morning and throughout the evening. I think there were some showers while we were sleeping, and of course the infield and the pitcher's mound were all covered with the tarp, but the outfield a little bit slippery out there. Soriano lost his footing momentarily but was able to recover.
Now Jack Wilson. Hey, good to see former Cub Cesar Izturis. He has not played yet in the series. Sent to the Pirates from the Cubs earlier in the season. He's played short and third. And there was some speculation that Jack Wilson was going to get traded around the deadline. They have Izturis if needed. But Wilson is still a Pirate, and Izturis has had trouble finding playing time. 14 starts at short, 5 at third base. And his manager knows him well. He played for Jim Tracy in Los Angeles. Fly ball right center. Jones running hard, but he won't get to it. He's going to one-hop the padding out there. Pierce coming all the way around. The relay throw toward the plate is going to be late. And the Pirates have tied it. It's 2-2. Partner Jack Wilson is now 16 for his last. Well, actually, he wasn't even in scoring position. I was going to say 16 for 25 with runners in scoring position, but Pierce was only at first base.
Well, he drives that ball to the gap in right center in a heartbeat. A line drive that short hopped the wall. DeRosa tries to relay on home, and Kendall does his best decoy at home plate to try to make Pierce believe there was not going to be a play at home plate, but You see Pierce coming all the way around first base, blowing bubbles the whole way. Takes one quick peek back over his shoulder and doesn't buy the decoy at home plate by Kendall. Good hook slide into the plate.
So the Pirates have pierced the Cubs lead. It's now 2-2, each team with 2 in the inning. Well, when Jack Wilson has sniffed an RBI opportunity, he has taken full advantage lately.
You know, and I see some similarities between Jack Wilson this year and J.J. Hardy in Milwaukee. 2 shortstops, very good defenders. Known as punch and Judy hitters, and both of them flexing this year, getting good counts, and when they get good pitches to hit, they're really swinging the bat well. J.J. Hardy had 9 home runs in the first few weeks of the season, got off to a tremendous start with the long ball.
His double play partner just hit his 2nd home run of the day, Ricky Weeks. It's now 8-1 Milwaukee. Boy, a lot of incentive for the Cubs to win this one today. It looks like Milwaukee is on its way. Base hit. Wilson coming, and he's going to hold up. Jack Wilson with 2 outs, respecting the arm of Alfonso Soriano, and it stays 2-2. Another one that will not show up in the box score as the Pirates hold that runner at third base. That's huge.
That is huge. A barehanded play by Soriano in left field, and Jeff Cox, the third base coach for the Pirates, was waving Jack Wilson the whole way. You can get a look at it here. A little ground ball through the left side. There you see Jeff Cox waving him home. Man, maybe he hit the bag with the wrong foot, lost his balance just a little bit as he gets to the base. Watch him stumble just momentarily right there, and decides he better slam on the brakes. He remembered who was playing left field.
So now if Traxel can get Morgan, he can keep this game tied. 1st and 3rd, 4 hits in the inning. Ramirez will not have room.
Boy, and even with 2 outs in the inning and runners at the corners, the Cubs are forced to bring their corner infielders in to protect against the bunt. We've talked about Morgan's speed throughout this series, and this is the kind of leadoff hitter that's just as likely to bunt for a base hit to drive that runner home from third base as he is to swing the bat.
And with Traxel scuffling here in the 2nd inning, Lou has action already in the bullpen. Rookie Kevin Hart is up. Called strike, a pitcher's pitch, and it's 1-2.
That's got to be kind of nerve-wracking, warming up right in front of the other team's relief pitchers. The Pirates bullpen is behind the Cubs bullpen here at PNC Park, and they've got a great view of Kevin Hart warming up out there in left center field.
A stressful second for Steve Traxel. 23 pitches already in the inning, and he'll have to throw some more. And as Wilson scores, it's now 3-2. Larry Rothschild, I believe, is going to head out. Here he comes. So the Cubs and Brewers tied for first in the division, but the Cubs trailing for the first time today.
It similar to the Jason Kendall at bat in the top half of the 2nd inning. Just shortened up his swing, punched the ball back up the middle of the field. Kendall drove home 2 in the 2nd. Morgan drives home another one right there to give the Pirates a lead. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Len, that out-of-town scoreboard will change the way you handle your own pitching staff on a given day. Certainly the Cubs staff are well aware that the Brewers are up big over the Reds already in that ball game. You might tend to have a little bit of a quicker hook with Steve Traxel, knowing full well that the Brewers are probably going to win that game in Cincinnati. Cannot afford to fall too far behind this ball club.
McLeod, the 8th batter of the inning. Morris, the bottom of your screen at second base. Morgan right behind him at first. And I'll tell you what, if there's a gapper, Morgan may run right up the back of Matt Morris. A little bit outside. 2-1 the count. And you have a Pirates offense without Bay and Nady today due to injury. Kicks away from Kendall. Morris to third. Morgan to second on a wild pitch.
As a catcher, you're always taught to check the trail runner. That runner at second base, when he breaks for third base, sometimes the runner at first will break a little bit later. He has to wait and make sure that Matt Morris goes to third base before he can break for second. But with the speed of Nyjer Morgan, no play anywhere. Well, the runner at first has to be a little more cautious to make sure the guy ahead of him tries to advance before he breaks for second base.
And they're loaded.
You'll see Morris at the top of your screen, Morgan at the right. That ball in the dirt. And you saw a stutter step there from Morgan at first. He wasn't quite sure Matt Morris was going to advance to third base, but with his great speed, able to accelerate and get in there anyway.
Lou mulling it over, and it's like he's going to give Traxel one more shot here. Freddie Sanchez with the bases loaded. Hart appears to be ready if needed. Now this is one of those key moments in the ball game where if Traxel can get Sanchez, he might buy himself 3 or 4 more innings. But if he can't get Sanchez, there's no question he's going to be done. Drilled foul. Cubs got 2 in the top of the inning. Jason Kendall's 2-run single, but the Pirates have come right back with 3 of their own. And they're trying to get more. First 2 games were not close. The Pirates won 6-1 Friday night. The Cubs came back and beat them 5-1 last night, although it did get a little tight late.
I'd love to listen in on that conversation. A couple of veterans out there on the mound on an 0-2 count to a dangerous hitter with the bases loaded. They're not only talking about what pitch they want to throw next, they're probably talking about how they're going to get to the pitch that they want to throw to retire Freddie Sanchez. I mean, a lot of different ways that Steve Traxel can go depending on what he feels is working on a given day. He can go a high fastball here out of the strike zone, bounce a breaking ball in the dirt, maybe try to sneak a heater by him on the outside corner for a called third strike.
Here is the 0-2, and Sanchez stays alive. Well, we've talked about Sanchez pulling the ball more here this year, and I think it makes him even more dangerous because now he's literally a foul line to foul line guy. He'll still shoot that ball the other way. Another 0-2 pitch. Goes back up the middle. This time Jock misplayed it. It gets by him. Oh, man. Morris is in. Morgan scores. McLeod is going to score. Sanchez is going to be sent all the way around. The throw to the plate. They got him. But the Pirates get 3 runs. What a wild play to end that inning. A triple for Sanchez. He's thrown out 8-6-2, and it's now 6-2 Pirates.
Some people see style. Some people see performance. We all see something that catches our eye, like the Pontiac G6. The same fuel economy as Camry, with even more horsepower. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
Now the 2007 G6 sedan starts at $16,895. But hurry, because inventory is limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Visit your neighbors at Blackhawk State Bank. Blackhawk State Bank is locally owned and operated. You'll find a friendly face waiting for you at every branch, waiting to greet you and provide you with courteous service. It's no wonder you feel like you're banking with your neighbors, 'cause you are. For all your banking needs, visit your neighborhood bank, Blackhawk State Bank, with 8 convenient full-service locations and 22 ATMs to serve you. Blackhawk State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Now, one of the more frustrating innings of the year for the Cubs. Bases loaded. Freddie Sanchez hit this ball hard. Jock actually went toward his left. The ball ended up to his right, and he just couldn't get there.
Just a terrible misplay right off the get-go. Not sure if he lost it out of some shirts behind home plate. Maybe the ball was knuckling, but as you said, he broke to his left. Jeff Cox, the third base coach, sending Sanchez. It's the longest 90 feet in baseball right there, trying to beat out an inside the park home run, and great relay throw by Ryan Theriot to cut him down at the plate.
And if he had been safe, it would have been an inside the park grand slam. But as it was, a bases clearing triple, so the Cubs have a lot of work to do now. A curve for a strike from Morris to Ryan Theriot.
Yeah, it looked like Sanchez may have gotten under the tag of Jason Kendall at home plate. You can see he's standing right on home plate. The ball clearly beat him to the dish, but the tag was late and right on top of home plate. It looked like Sanchez may have been in there. Another look at it from this angle. You can see how deep Jason Kendall is. He's standing right over home plate. And it looked like Sanchez may have gotten his foot on that front corner of the plate before Kendall made contact with the tag.
The 1-2 pitch. It's low and outside. I'll tell you, maybe the biggest hit of the inning was Matt Morris's single. It didn't score a run, but it rolled the lineup back over, and Morgan then knocked in Wilson to give them the lead. A walk to McLeod and the 3-run triple by Sanchez. Full count on Theriot. Cubs need to pile up some runners. It's still early. We're only in the 3rd inning. Ground ball fair. Batista ended up in foul ground as he went to get it, and he just has time to get Theriot on a nice play. And I'm guessing when we check out the replay that Steve Traxel is done, because Kevin Hart is continuing to get loose in the Cubs pen.
Ontario making a bid for extra bases down that third baseline. Most of the hits he's had lately have been to the opposite field, but that time got a pitch on the inside part. And we talked about Freddie Sanchez. You were talking about him earlier, how he used to be strictly an opposite field hitter. Now he's pulling the ball more, and Ryan Theriot needs to do some of that from time to time as well. Take that inside fastball and jerk it to left field. Keep the defense honest. Don't let them overshift one direction or the other.
An 0-2 ground ball for Jack Wilson. Well, happy 40th wedding anniversary to Joyce and Wayne Enerson. Also a shout out to Evan Giovanni, a huge Cub fan from Indianapolis, Indiana. He's here at the ball game today. Had a nice chat with Evan before the ball game. And Bob, I've had this note just about all summer. Big thanks to some huge Cub fans who have established the We Love Len and Bob MySpace page. Have you checked it out?
No.
Yeah, I was tipped off by a friend and posted a thank you note on that site earlier in the season. And Bob will be sending you all a check in the next few days. We appreciate it.
Yeah, don't cash it until after the season's over.
Oh, now I'm told it was the Len Dawson Bob Greasy fan site.
Fans of veteran quarterbacks.
Yeah. A fly ball right center. Morgan lays out. Oh man, what a catch by Niger Morgan. Ramirez can't believe it. That might be the catch of the year right there. Cubs can't get a break. 6-2.
Stop, Hub! Where should we sit? Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline? Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets. Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out.
Peanuts.
Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate.
Peanuts.
Let's go for it. StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience.
StubHub.
Quiet on the set. Take 73.
Hello out there in TV land. Save your false laughter.
Very popular. Whoa, get your foot off the fonger. Okay, here we go with another ho-ho.
There's only one, Bob Rohrman.
Honey? I think this might be our lucky day.
I think it might be.
I think this is what we've been waiting for.
I think it is.
Yes!
It turned blue!
Introducing the Coors Light Cold Activated Bottle. The mountains turn from white to blue when your beer reaches the perfect temperature.
It's blue like your eyes.
My eyes are green.
Only from Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Tuesday, Central rivals collide in Houston as Derek Lee and the Cubs square off with the Astros, followed by Cubs postgame live. Cubs-Astros available in widescreen format. Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago sports news nightly on Land Rover's Sports Night. Coming up tonight at 10, highlights of today's Bears game in San Diego a little bit later on, plus an update of the NL Central race. Luke and Carey will have Land Rover Sports Night tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Boy, you'll be seeing this catch on some highlight shows over the next few days. Niger Morgan showing that speed, fully lays out to make the diving catch in the gap in right center. Steve Pearce has to leap over him as he was getting into the vicinity. I'll tell you, that young man has been extremely impressive in this series.
He also has the go-ahead RBI at the plate. Rookie right-hander Kevin Hart takes over. Rough outing for Steve Traxel. 2 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs. All the hits and the runs were in the second. He went 1, 2, 3 in the first. And I think we're seeing why the rotation not really set in stone. Things can change, and the Cubs are going to use a pretty significant part of their bullpen today. And if you like to write in the pitching probables as you look ahead, I think you can put in pen that Carlos is going to start on Thursday, because the other two options would have been Traxel or Hart.
Well, it appeared Traxel's main problem today was just his inability to keep the ball down in the zone. A lot of those pitches stayed up around the belt. And the reality is, at this stage of his career, he needs to be nearly perfect. He needs to stay around the edges of the zone, change speeds on all of his pitches, and just couldn't seem to consistently keep that ball down in the zone.
Pulled foul by LaRoche. Home run distance, but about 35 feet to the right of the foul pole.
We haven't seen a lot of Hart so far this season. This is his third appearance, but I would venture to guess that a lot of left-handed hitters do just what Adam LaRoche did. That cut fastball that's working inside, the only thing you can do is pull it foul.
Foul tip, and it stayed in the mitt, so that's a strikeout. Tell you, the guy who got the foul ball was roundly booed, because there are a bunch of kids going after that ball in that empty section of seats. Your old adage is give it to the kid. Is he?
Well, you can kind of understand. He's got his own kid.
Right,
he was trying to get a ball for him, I'm sure, but no excuse to knock down the little guys.
Found back by Batista.
Plenty of good seats still available here at PNC Park. Nice crowd the first couple nights of this series. I think the rain scared a lot of people away, plus the fact the Steelers are playing today, so that'll keep the football fans at home.
Yeah, the loudest cheer of the weekend came when they showed the Steelers leading, I think, 17-0. And they're at Cleveland. That's a comebacker base hit for Batista. Somebody was selling T-shirts earlier this weekend. I can't tell you exactly what it said, but it said Cleveland blank. You can use your imagination.
And some of the musicians on the Roberto Clemente Bridge leading back into downtown Pittsburgh, you know, they play their music over there after a ball game, hoping to get some tips from the fans heading back downtown. And they were getting very creative with their lyrics as well.
One ball, no strikes on Steve Pearce. Kevin Hart had to take the pink backpack out to the bullpen. It's a long walk here in Pittsburgh. High in the air to left. And Soriano on the dirt will haul it in. That'll send Batista back to first base. Here comes Paulino. Pretty good bet we will see Sean Marshall today. Lou has tried to find an inning or two for Sean since he left the starting rotation. He'll be back in it on Saturday for the day-night doubleheader. Lou's not quite sure who's going to pitch the game one of that day-nighter. He's going to talk to Larry Rothschild, but might be leaning toward the veteran Ted Lilly in game one and then Marshall in game two. But a lot of it depends on the matchups and how things go later this week.
And there aren't a lot of doubleheaders in baseball anymore unless it's a makeup game like we're going to have in St. Louis. But in general, when you had the choice between a veteran pitcher and a young pitcher, I always deferred to the veteran. Which game would you rather start? Do you feel more comfortable coming to the ballpark, going through your preparation, starting that first game? Or would you rather sleep in a little bit later, show up to the ballpark a little bit later and pitch the second game? And most of the time the veteran would prefer to pitch the first game.
Now, apparently Ted was given the option of flying back to Chicago early with the day game against the Cardinals tomorrow, and he declined. Wanted to stay with the team today. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. Hart strikes out 2, gives up a hit, no runs. It's 6-2 Pirates.
Fellas, leave the tight pads to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye Lounge, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Power captured by revolutionary V-Vel technology that responds instantly to your commands and unleashes power immediately. The all-new 330 horsepower Infinity G Coupe. Intensity captured. Every Monday, catch the Bears recap on Comcast Sportsnet. Hear what Lovie Smith has to say about the previous game and get a preview of the upcoming weekend's matchup. Don't miss Bears recap every Monday at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Fellas, leave the tight pads to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Back at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Cubs about to take their hacks here in the top half of the 4th inning. It'll be right fielder Matt Merton, center fielder Jock Jones, and second baseman Mark DeRosa to face Matt Morris.
And strike 1 on Merton. Have we talked about how big this press box is? Behind third, Batista fires and safe at first. That was closer than it should have been. I would say Batista made a nice play, but it'll be a hit for Merton. I would think Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, you get a pretty good workout heading from one end of the press box to the other to use the facilities.
Nice play by Batista. Has to take several steps to gather himself before making that off-balance throw back across the diamond, and just does pull LaRoche off the bag, allowing Merton to reach on an infield hit.
Jones walked and scored in the second inning. Cubs are down 4. It's 6-2. Left center field. It'll get down. Morgan cuts it off. First 2 have reached. Five hits now for the Cubs as we get into today's Aflac trivia question. Who had the first walk-off or game-ending home run here at PNC Park? Get the answer in the bottom of the inning. Mark DeRosa fouls away to the right. Cubs have done all their damage from Merton on down. 6-4-3. So the double play ball rears its ugly head. That was a problem in the Dodgers series. And all of a sudden, 2 outs. Merton left at third base, and it's up to Kendall now to continue the inning.
And something this Pirates middle infield duo does so well. This is their 162nd double play of the year. That puts them 1 behind the Colorado Rockies for the major league lead. These guys have worked together so well and for so long out there in the middle, they can almost read each other's minds.
Now Sean Marshall has been getting loose in the Cubs bullpen. It takes him obviously longer than a reliever because he's not a reliever. He's been a starter throughout his pro career. Now you hope Kendall can extend this inning. If he does not, you have to believe Kevin Hart's going to go right back out there. Darrell Ward is in the on deck circle to bat for Hart if Kendall gets on. Remember that game in Colorado earlier this year when the plan was to go to Kerry Wood, but then the inning ended very quickly, and that extended Ted Lilly another frame. Yeah, I asked Sean about it. He said the last time he had worked in relief was maybe a couple of times in college. But he made a good point. He said, you know, in spring training, you know, starting pitchers will come in the third or fourth inning, sometimes piggybacked just to get their work in. So not a huge deal. 3-2 on Kendall. Morris with a quick look at Merton at third. Here he comes on a payoff pitch, lined right at Batista. And that ends the threat. Promising start to the inning, but the Cubs come up empty. It's 6-2 Pittsburgh.
You hear about Fensky? No. Got hurt, missed work. Thought his major medical was enough. Poor guy. Didn't have Aflac. What does Aflac do? Let's say this is major medical, right? Well, see the hole? That's where Aflac comes in. Helps pay for groceries, rent, all kinds of bills. Major medical? Poor Fensky. He thought he had enough coverage.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and we've just extended the best offer ever on the all-new Silverado Crew Cab. 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado half-ton crew cabs for well-qualified buyers. Just click and go online to find the one you want, then get to your Chevy dealer. That's right, we've just extended 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado Crew Cab. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
Kevin Hart's going to begin the bottom of the fourth after a scoreless third inning, and let's answer today's Aflac trivia question. Who had the first walk-off home run here at PNC Park? Aflac! It was Jason Kendall off Jeff Facero. Facero with the Cubs at the time back on April 22nd, 2001. This place opened in 2001. And when it did open, it was the third Pirates home park in 31 years. They played at Forbes Field from 1909 to 1970, and then Three River Stadium up until the end of the 2000 season. One strike on Jack Wilson, missed a good slider from the rookie Hart. Hart was born in Greensboro, North Carolina. Went to college at the University of Maryland and was an 11th round pick of the Orioles in 2004. Cubs got him in the offseason from Baltimore in the Freddie Bynum deal. Lined into center. and a base hit. So Matt Morris likely in a bunting situation. Another interesting bit of PNC Park trivia. The Pirates played host to last year's All-Star game, and they're the first team ever to host the All-Star game in 3 different venues. The ones we mentioned: Forbes, Three Rivers, and PNC. Did you have any memorable moments over at Three Rivers Stadium?
Well, I remember them. I don't know if anybody else does, but
as long as you did, it's big.
And I think I told the story in the past. We had a doubleheader here in Pittsburgh. Imagine that. We got rained out early in the season and came back later and had to play a doubleheader. Caught 9 innings in the first game. Went down to the bullpen. Thought I was going to sit back and enjoy 9 innings of big league hardball in game 2. And Jack Clark, our right fielder, got thrown out of the ball game, I think, in the 2nd or 3rd inning. I came in to play right field for an inning or 2 and then ended up back behind the plate. And the second game went 18 innings. So I ended up catching the remainder of that ball game plus the first 9. There were about 10 people in the stands at the end of the day.
Morris thrown out, a successful sacrifice, 2-4. Kendall to DeRosa. Well, I could be wrong, but I seem to recall either on Memorial Day or 4th of July that the Pirates at one time scheduled double headers that began in the morning, like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, this was one of those doubleheaders. I think it started around 5 or 5:30 in the afternoon, game 1, and just long enough between games for the grounds crew to get the field prepared and the starting pitchers to warm up and the guys to put on a dry T-shirt, and then you start over.
That's going to be it for Kevin Hart, and it will be Carmen Pignatello to come in here in the middle of an inning. Again, we'll probably see Marshall at some point, but to start an inning. 6-2 Pirates.
This is the place. Let's go. Open 24 hours. Common sense never sleeps. 2 for $1 hot dogs with all the fixings. Now, that's how you help people live the high life. Hey, how you doing, buddy? There you go. This place is a mountain of goodness in a mixed up world. Thank you very much. Now, come over here. I got something to show you. We got a surprise for you. Switch it on, boys. Certified purveyors of the high life. That's you, buddy.
Certified purveyors of the Miller High Life.
Yeah, proof the world hasn't gone completely crazy.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and we've just extended the best offer ever on the all-new Silverado Crew Cab. 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado half-ton crew cabs for well-qualified buyers. Just click and go online to find the one you want, then get to your Chevy dealer. That's right, we've just extended 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado Crew Cab. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
Welcome to Lowe's. May I help you?
Yes, we have this kitchen. We'd love to have this kitchen.
Let me show you some options. Hey, let's get started. Have you thought about under cabinet lighting?
At Lowe's, our kitchen specialists can help you build the kitchen you've always dreamed of. We'll walk you through every step, even installation, with your budget in mind. When you come to Lowe's, you'll find more than a salesperson. You'll find a partner. Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Use your Lowe's consumer card and pay nothing for 12 months on kitchen countertop and cabinet purchases of $299 or more.
Hey fans, the 23rd annual Cubs convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago on January 18th, 19th, and 20th. To reserve a room now for the Cubs convention weekend, call the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400. Weekend passes are $50 and a limited number will go on sale Wednesday, November 7th at 10 o'clock in the morning on Cubs.com. For more information, please call 773-404-CUBS or as always visit www.cubs.com.
Here's Carmen Pignatello facing the leadoff man for the Pirates, Niger Morgan. This will be the 4th big leagues appearance for Pignatello. His last 2 appearances lasted just as long as what you just saw, 1 pitch. Both against the Cardinals in mid-August. In his first 1-pitch outing, which was his 2nd major league appearance, He threw one pitch and was credited with a strikeout. And then in his next one, he came on and threw one pitch and gave up a home run to Rick Ankiel.
So he's really being stretched out here today.
Yeah, 2 pitches. Bouncer past Pignatello and also past the middle infielders. Jack Wilson scores the 7th Pirates run. Two RBIs for Morgan today, and also robbed Aramis Ramirez of at least a double on defense. Carmen was born in Hammond, Indiana, attended Providence Catholic High in New Lenox, Illinois. And he lives in Aurora. Another throw to first, Morgan back. Morgan easily steals second base, and he actually went too far, and Terrio applied the tag. 2-6, a caught stealing.
Jim Tracy's going to come out and argue this play at second base, but Kendall's throw on the shortstop side, and look at Ryan Terrio, always heads up. Got the tag on the bottom of the left shoe.
That's our LoJack caught stealing replay. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. It's raining a little bit harder now. I think we've had it mist pretty much throughout. Pulled toward the right field corner, out of play.
You know, Len, it seems like we say something about Ryan Terrio every day. The things that he does that not too many other players in the game do. It would have been very easy just to take that throw on the shortstop side of the bag, stand up, throw the ball back to the pitcher, concede the stolen base. But Ryan Terrio doesn't concede anything. He even went back and slapped the tag on Morgan after he slid past the bag at second base. We see him do something like that almost every day.
Ramirez over near the home dugout. He'll reach into the dugout and can't get it. I think he has a play if he gets over to the railing quickly and can brace himself, but he just didn't get there in time.
Now playing deep and quite a bit off the line with the left-handed hitter at the plate, and just couldn't get over there in time. Looked like it was well within his reach if he was able to get to that railing, but just had too far to go.
Merton gives it a look, but no play. As it has gotten a little darker here, I wonder at some point if they're going to turn the lights on. And with Joe West not in the ballpark, they should be able to do it without incident.
You would imagine they'll do it right after the Pirates make the last out of this bottom half of the fourth inning.
The wind and the 2-2 pitch called strike 3 to get out of the inning. One run, it was charged to Hart. It's now 7-2 Pirates.
The survival of the greenbacks is a daily challenge.
This one was overspent. They're at risk of becoming extinct.
But you can help right now during Kia's Save the Greenback sales event. You save a lot of greenbacks with Kia, like the fuel-efficient Sportage. With its impressive safety rating, you and your greenbacks are more protected than ever. Together, we can save the greenbacks.
Hurry and get the Sportage starting at $16,525.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
There's a place where the hunting season opens a little earlier than usual, where the deer are as plentiful as the thickets they hide in. It don't matter here if you come home with a monster buck. A day's hunting is reward enough. Where is this place? About as far from you as your remote control. Friday on Versus.
Watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox, Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. Visit Midas for brakes, expert auto maintenance, and tires. And by the Toyota Tundra, the truck that's changing it all. Find out how at ytundra.com.
Mike Fontenot will pinch hit for Carmen Pignatello. And we're going to see Sean Marshall come out in the bottom of the 5th inning for his first relief appearance. 7-2 Pirates. A little bit outside, 1-1. Well, in the 6th, we'll have our Coors Light cold blast to the booth. If you'd like to send us an email, we have a question regarding the Cubs. Len and Bob at ComcastSportsnet.com. We'll pick an email and talk about it in the next inning. Morris wanted that pitch, didn't get it. 3-1. Cubs today playing the first as Fontenot walks, the first of a 3-city in 3-day trip. Pittsburgh today, Chicago tomorrow, and then Houston to resume the trip Tuesday night. The Pirates in double play depth. LaRoche is holding on the runner. Fontenot at first. Curveball catches a front door, strike one. Let's check on the Cubs road record, and they have the best road record in the National League. The only team over 500. In fact, everybody else at least 9 under away from home. And the Cubs will have, including today, 14 of their final 21 away from Wrigley Field. Hasn't helped them today, however.
And you mentioned that 3-city and 3-day road trip that we have starting today. Shouldn't really be that taxing. I mean, the travel is not excessive. The flight is very short. I think it's about an hour and 15 minutes maybe from here to Pittsburgh, or rather back to Chicago.
That's deep. Morgan's back. He is at the wall. He's going to leap. He doesn't even leap. He ran out of room. It's a home run. Cubs getting back in it now. 7-4. And with Morgan out there in center, Bob, you feel like you have to hit the ball over the fence or he's going to catch it.
That's exactly what Soriano did. He's hit some balls hard out in that general vicinity, a little bit to the left of the area where that ball just left the ballpark, and had nothing to show for it in this series, but this time gets enough of it to fly it out of here to straightaway center field.
And the Cubs taking advantage of the leadoff walk to the pinch hitter Fontenot, and that's now 6 home runs in 12 games for Fonzie since he came off the DL. 24 on the year. Yeah, you're right about the travel. It's not that big a deal. The Cubs are going to sleep in their own beds tonight, play a 2:20 first pitch tomorrow, and then off to Houston, and it is a night game Tuesday night. The Cardinals will go from Phoenix to Chicago, and then after tomorrow they'll head to Cincinnati.
The Cardinals and the Cubs probably could both use an off day tomorrow rather than that makeup game. But hey, it is what it is. You got to make up the games at some point. A mutual off day tomorrow, so squeeze it in there. But I'm sure the Cardinals have some guys that could use a day off, just like Lou Piniella and his team have some guys that could use a day off.
Tony La Russa has gone into a 6-man schedule in his rotation. And really the top 4 guys are known, but he's kind of alternated at the bottom of that rotation. Morris throws out Terrio.
And on a fastball down the middle of the plate. And we weren't quite sure. We've seen Morgan make some tremendous defensive plays in this series. He actually got back there too close to the fence as he attempted to jump up there. I don't think he would have been able to get that high anyway. But he banged his shoulder into the wall and no jump at all.
Derek Lee with a base hit.
The Cubs just keep pecking away here. Derek Lee with a hard ground ball through the left side of the field. That's good to see. Derek Lee started to pull the ball a little bit more lately. I think teams have finally started to come back on the inside part of the plate, and he's showing a lightning quick bat, jerking that ball through the left side.
Well, Aramis is 0 for 2, but he hit one to the warning track in right in his first chance, and then the second time up, robbed on maybe the best catch we've seen all year by Morgan in deep right center.
Yeah, Rami's 2 for 10 in this series, but he's actually hit the ball pretty well. The Pirates have made some nice defensive plays behind him. He too hit a ball out to left center in the Bermuda Triangle that just got out there and died in the heavy air last night. That's why you need advanced scouts. If you looked at the stat sheet and saw that Aramis Ramirez was 2 for 10 against the Pirates so far in this series, you'd say, well, he's not swinging a bat real well. But if you were here to watch the games and saw how he made his outs, on your report you would have to put, be careful of Ramirez swinging the bat well.
But he missed that pitch for strike 3. That's the first strikeout of the day for Matt Morris. Final voting for the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is going on now. Visit Cubs.com and help determine who you think should sing the 7th inning stretch at the Cubs game September 22nd. Only 10 finalists left, so don't forget to visit Cubs.com and vote for who you think deserves the title of Ultimate Cubs fan. Morris now with 1,797 strikeouts as he nears 1,800 in his career. Check that. 1,196 strikeouts. I was looking at the hit column, but there was a 96 in that column, so I just went with it.
Good for me.
So he's nearing 1,200. He's trying to end a 5-game losing streak against the Cubs. Wilson goes down on a knee. Sanchez stretching out at second base to get the throw. The Cubs get within 3 on the Soriano 2-run homer, his 24th of the year. It's now 7-4 Pirates.
Flying out of Chicago Midway for business? Southwest Airlines isn't just for short flights anymore. We offer nonstop flights to LA, DC, Phoenix, Houston, Long Island, Philly, and dozens of other destinations. You wanted more nonstop flights for business, so we're flying more nonstops than ever before.
You are now free to move about the country.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
At GMC, we've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
Time now for a GMC Sports Update.
Hey everyone, Mitch Robinson with you. We'll get you back to PNC Park in a moment, but first a program reminder for later today. As soon as the Bears-Chargers game ends, flip it over to Comcast Sportsnet for Bears Postgame Live. We'll bring you live interviews from San Diego and break down the game. That's Bears Postgame right after the final whistle. But now let's get back to Cubs baseball in Pittsburgh with Len and Bob. Guys?
All right, Mitch, a tall mountain to climb. The Cubs were down 7-2. They did get 2 back on the home run by Alfonso Soriano. So it's 7-4. And a big key if the Cubs are going to come back is going to be the bullpen the rest of the way. And Sean Marshall is going to work out of the bullpen for the first time in his career after 42 starts. And in fact, in his minor league career, he made 53 starts and no relief appearances. So first time out of the pen as a pro. And he faces Freddie Sanchez inside ball 1. Sanchez almost had an inside the park grand slam. He was thrown out at home plate on a close play, and he might have been safe. Ended up with a 3-run triple and now a single the other way. So he's 2 out of 3. John Van Benschoten is up for the Pirates in their bullpen.
Well, that's more of a hit that we're used to seeing from Freddie Sanchez. That inside-out swing, trying to drive the ball through the right side into right field. That time found a hole just beyond the diving Derek Lee.
Well, this game is far from over. DeRosa, Terrio, Lee, a double play. But a big part of it's going to be the pen from here on out. Can't give the Pirates much more if you have any chance of coming back.
Taylor made double play ball with the slow-footed Adam LaRoche at the plate. So Terrio get up off his feet to avoid the sliding runner there at second base. At least get your cleats up out of the dirt, so if he does catch your leg, you're not locked into the ground. That's when injuries happen out there at second base.
Bautista's 1 for 2. That game in Cincinnati is not over. It's 8-5. The Brewers still with the lead. It's in the bottom of the 7th. Scott Linebrink is in for Ben Sheets. Five home runs in that ball game for Milwaukee. Edwin Encarnacion has hit one for the Reds.
Saw that Mets-Houston score just below the Milwaukee-Cincinnati score. That was Pedro Martinez against Roy Oswalt today. Intriguing matchup.
A bouncer sending Ramirez in. And a good job by Sean Marshall. Gives up the leadoff single, but then gets the double play. Bautista grounds out, and it's 7-4 to the 6th.
Ask for Pennzoil. Get an oil change with 5 quarts of Pennzoil and a Fram filter for just $12.99 at AutoZone.
This is the story of how the powerful 270 horsepower V6, roomy 3-row seating with 2nd-row captain's chairs, extra cargo room, and everything else, in the newly redesigned fuel-efficient Toyota Highlander, hauled Mark, his brother Patrick, the kids, and their wave runners off to the lake with ease. The all-new Highlander starts at a great price at your Toyota dealer now.
Well, this heat's not letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
Day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Every Wednesday and Thursday, tune into Bears Blitz on Comcast Sportsnet. Get all the latest news, press conferences, and interviews surrounding your NFC champs. You don't want to miss Bears Blitz every Wednesday and Thursday at 4:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Tonight, get a complete recap of the Bears-Chargers season opener on U.S. Cellular Bears Post-Game Live. Pat Boyle and former Bears Jim Miller, Jerry Azuma, and Dan Jiggets break down all the action. And William Jackson will bring you interviews with the players. U.S. Cellular Bears Post-Game Live tonight, immediately after the game, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Pop foul and out of play by Jock Jones. It's wet here in Pittsburgh. It's been raining pretty much throughout. Raining harder here the last couple of innings, but the field looks okay. Curveball missed outside. Matt Morris okay with the pitch count. We saw Van Benskoten loosening, and now it looks like a couple of guys are out there in the Pirates pen. Morris just over 80 pitches, called strike 3 to get Jones. First time Jock has been retired, and just the second strikeout for Morris.
Little comeback sinker from Matt Morris. Yeah, he'll invent stuff out there on the mound as necessary. Usually throws a hard sinker, the big over-the-top curveball, but he's been known to cut his fastball from time to time, change speeds on that big breaking ball. That time just froze Jock Jones on a sinker on the inside part.
Fouled by DeRosa. In that game in New York, Juan Perez, a left-hander, joining Van Benskoten, the righty. Pedro Martinez taken out after 5 innings. He threw 92 pitches, 65 for strikes. Did not give up a run to the Astros today. Roy Oswalt has allowed 4 runs on 8 hits through 6. Pretty good matchup yesterday. Tom Glavine beat Woody Williams. Both guys pitched pretty well. Both 41 years old. Line shot right at Pierce. Bob, how about former Cub Greg Maddux? He just keeps cruising right along. 8 straight starts without a walk, 54 in a 3rd consecutive innings without allowing a walk. He got his 345th career win as he beat the Rockies in Colorado. The National League record for consecutive walkless innings, 72 in a 3rd, and guess who holds it? Greg Maddux.
Yeah, there are pitchers around baseball where if you told me they'd gone 8 straight starts without walking a man, I'd be shocked, but not with Greg Maddux. That's par for the course.
Jason Kendall swats that ball into left, and McLeod slides and makes a catch for the out. 1-2-3 inning. It's 7-4.
Some days you have to be a superwoman in your 07 Chevy Impala. Unleashing your powers. Protecting the innocent. Or flying the family up, up, and around the way. With a little assistance from your sidekick. And the best coverage in America. And not a hair out of place. The 2007 Chevy Impala.
Visit ChevyDriveChicago.com for great offers today.
When the Cubs game is over, stay tuned for Cubs postgame live on Comcast Sportsnet. All the interviews and press conferences, in-depth game highlights, and Dan Plesek breaks down all the action. Cubs postgame live after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans.
When the subject is trucks, you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
McDonald's Sports Rise every morning only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Time now for the Coors Light Cold Blast to the booth. Michael Weiss in Glenview, Illinois emails us, how does a player qualify for a gold glove as a defensive player? Is it a statistic? Rarely does this get explained. Well, it's voted upon. Now, I believe managers are involved in that voting. I'm not exactly sure who votes, but I think managers, maybe even some players are involved. And I want to actually say just managers, but the bottom line is that it is voted on. And a lot of times offensive statistics seem to have an effect. Steve Pearce has been impressive at the plate today. It's his second hit in 3 tries.
Yeah, really the offensive numbers should not even factor into the Gold Glove award, but unfortunately in some instances they do. I'm trying to remember. I know the managers vote on it. I think maybe even the coaching staffs for each team get a vote. I'm not sure of that.
Fouled away by Paulino.
And it's no guarantee just because you have the highest fielding percentage at your position that you're going to win a Gold Glove. I mean, some guys that have excessive range and cover a lot of ground, they're more apt to make errors over the course of the season because they cover a lot more ground than another player at the same position. So it's more than just fielding percentage, more than just a lack of errors at your position.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, which I always love, as voted by the managers and coaches in each league, managers are not allowed to vote for their own players. So that answers the question. And part of the issue, when you ask managers and coaches to vote as opposed to media members, they don't see maybe as many games because you're kind of focused on your next opponent. You only see a guy against your team, 6 or maybe 7 times. And so I think a lot of times, Bob, you end up relying on what other people tell you. Might be a position you go, well, it's this guy or this guy, and then you ask somebody, well, what do you think? And that's how this game works a lot of the time. You gather your information. And that first one's the toughest to win. Once you get that first one, it's a little bit easier.
And when you start racking up a mantle full of Gold Gloves, it's tough to lose it. As long as you don't completely lose your skills and have a season where you're throwing the ball all over the field, you're probably going to be the front runner at your position again the next year.
Derek Lee has won a couple at first base. He and Todd Helton. And now Albert Pujols has won one, so it may be tough to unseat him. Scott Rowland had been winning it almost every year, interrupted briefly by Mike Lowell, but Rowland with an injury-plagued campaign. Aramis Ramirez at some point could win a Gold Glove. He's had a really good defensive year. There's ball 4. So Marshall in some trouble here in his second relief inning as he tries to keep the Pirates close. I think shortstop's always the toughest position because that's normally your best defensive player on the field. But until Omar Vizquel retires, it's going to be really tough for anybody else in this league to win it.
Well, and not only is Omar Vizquel a real good defensive shortstop, but he plays the game with such a flair. You know, it's hard not to notice Omar Vizquel when he does some of the things he does defensively.
I mean, you think about shortstop. I mean, you can't be bad defensively to play that position. So almost by definition, as Wilson bunts it foul, to be a shortstop, you have to at least be average at worst. I mean, I can't think of a bad defensive shortstop currently playing every day in the major leagues. There are many who believe Jack Wilson could win a Gold Glove. Cesar Torres won one back in 2004 when he was with the Dodgers. You have Jose Reyes, Jimmy Rollins, Rafael Furcal, a bit inconsistent with his throwing, but can make the spectacular play. Hanley Ramirez in Florida, Alex Gonzalez in Cincinnati, David Eckstein.
A lot of people think Stephen Drew in Arizona is going to win some Gold Gloves before his career is over.
I thought Troy Tulowitzki was impressive when we saw him with the Rockies.
You know, one of the best throwing arms at that position in the whole game. I mean, he has a cannon at shortstop.
And if it were up to you, would you have a Gold Glove left fielder, center fielder, and right fielder, or simply 3 outfielders? Because a lot of times it ends up being 2 or 3 center fielders.
I like the idea of each individual position. There's certain challenges to playing the corner outfield positions, especially in some of the ballparks. We know what a tough right field Wrigley can be. You look at Fenway Park in Boston, and your left fielder needs to have some savvy how to play the green monster there. So it's too easy to pick all center fielders because those guys are generally going to be the better athletes, the better defenders of the outfielders.
I mean, last year in the National League, the 3 Gold Glovers in the outfield, Andruw Jones, Carlos Beltran, and Mike Cameron. They're all center fielders. The last non-center fielder to win it, Bobby Abreu in 2005. But the year before that, Jones, Edmonds, Finley. 2-2 on Jack Wilson. The Pirates have the first 2 on, nobody out. They lead the Cubs 7-4. Going back a few years, Larry Walker, Barry Bonds, a couple of non-center fielders to win that award. Fouled back, still 2-2.
Of course, you know which position really gets hosed in the Gold Glove award is the catcher.
Catcher, right.
We've seen it happen with the Cubs catchers this year. If you have a pitching staff that is not very good at holding base runners, your numbers are going to be terribly inflated as far as stolen bases against you. And so many of the subtle things that a good defensive catcher does well never get noticed. The guys that can make those borderline pitches look a little better than they are. The guys who block everything in the dirt, never allow a runner to advance. Yeah, those things aren't highlight reel plays.
Pierce tags from second base as Jones makes a catch. First and third, 1 out. And it will not be Matt Morris to hit. Josh Phelps will pinch hit.
And we've watched Steve Pearce throughout the day blowing bubbles as he's hitting, as he's running the bases. It doesn't seem to bother him. He can multitask, chew gum and run at the same time.
So Lou with the long, slow walk to the mound. So that'll be it for Sean Marshall. And slider specialist Michael Wirtz will come on. He's been good keeping inherited runners off the plate. It's 7-4 Pirates.
I've always had this dream to be a car designer. From a very early age, I was drawing cars on every piece of paper I could find. And at age 11, I wrote Cadillac. And I was very interested in what was it that I needed to do to become a designer. I'm still following their advice, and my dream cars, they came true.
Hear about Penske? No. Got hurt, missed work. Thought his major medical was enough. Poor guy. Didn't have Aflac.
What does Aflac do?
Let's say this is major medical, right? Well, see the hole? That's where Aflac comes in. Helps pay for groceries, rent, all kinds of bills. Major medical? Poor Penske. He thought he had enough coverage.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Michael Wirtz is second in the senior circuit, having stranded 30 of 34 inherited runners. That's 88%. He trails only his teammate Carlos Marmol, who's at 89.5%. Carlos did allow one last night, but he came in with the bases loaded, nobody out. First and third here with one down, and ball one on Josh Phelps, the pinch hitter. A couple of pinch hit home runs for Phelps.
You know, those are his overall numbers on the season pinch hitting as a member of the Pirates. 6 for 19 with a couple of homers.
Phelps began the year with the New York Yankees. Acquired off waivers by the Pirates on June 22nd. Was designated for assignment 3 days prior to that, 1-2. He can catch and play first base. Able to hold up. Pierce is the runner at third. Paulino's at first. The Cubs want 2 to get out of this inning. They brought the rain gear today. They still have not turned the lights on.
I think they're going to have to at the start of the next half inning. It's gotten progressively darker here as the rains have picked up. You mentioned just a very light mist falling through the early part of the ball game, but it's a legitimate rain right now, and it's gotten considerably darker as this game has gone on.
The 2-2 delivery to Phelps. Full count. We'll see if Jim Tracy will have Paulino on the move to avoid a double play situation. Several Cubs coaches up on the top step right near the railing in the Cubs dugout. There was nobody up there for the Pirates. Runner went, and they're loaded. Jim Tracy just got up from his seat in the dugout, but with it raining right now, there's nobody in front of the Pirates dugout. Bases loaded.
Blue's going to make a double switch. He goes to home plate umpire Randy Marsh before heading out to the mound, and looked like he was pointing at Jason Kendall. I think we're going to see Giovanni Soto come on as part of a double switch.
So Wirtz faces only one hitter. He walks Phelps, and with Morgan and McLeod due up, looks like Scott Ayers is going to come on. Bases loaded. 7-4 Pirates.
What was once a measure of precision is now being taken for a little drive. An available 6-speed automatic, paddle shifters, and highly responsive electronic power steering. The Lexus IS. At your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Letting up, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Cubs fans still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year? Visit Cubs.com and click on Replay, the official secondary market site for the Chicago Cubs. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field. Check out Replay at Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Here's Giovanni Soto catching. He'll lead off the 7th inning because the 9th spot's due up first. Jason Kendall's out. Scott Ayers in the 8th hole, and the grounds crew just came out, put some diamond dry on the mound, and near home plate as well as it continues to rain.
Scott Ayers found his way back into the good graces of Lou Piniella, pitching in more important situations recently than he did in the first half of the season. Seemed like we talked about it for most of the first half. Scott Ayers is a very important member in that Cubs bullpen, and they really needed to get him righted this season. There's going to be a lot of lefties down the stretch that you need to get out in clutch situations.
Base is full of Pirates. The infield is in. Ball one on Morgan. Ramirez way in on the grass. Middle infielders just about in the baseline. Derek Lee with his toes at the edge of the grass. The pitch. 1-1.
I'm surprised the Cubs aren't playing everybody all the way in front of the bases right here. Very little chance of turning a double play with Morgan at the plate. And DeRosa is drawn a little bit shallower than double play depth, as is Terrio, but both middle infielders are behind the baseline. Normally, if you're going to try to cut that run off at the plate, you bring them all the way in. And now with 2 strikes, Terrio does move up in front of the baseline. He'll play in front of Ronnie Paulino leading off of second base.
Good knockdown by Soto. Very quick to get over there. And you see Scott's jersey. He's drenched. We may be nearing the point where Randy Marsh, the crew chief, who's a home plate umpire today, may consider a delay. The problem with such a delay is it may rain like this the rest of the afternoon, and once you stop it, you don't restart until it stops raining.
It just doesn't look like it's going to stop today here in Pittsburgh. The same kind of thick gray skies every direction you look. And one of the determining factors will be the footing out there on the mound. You mentioned the grounds crew came out and put some diamond dry on the mound as well as the area around home plate. But if the pitcher starts to stumble out there, slipping and sliding on the muddy mound, or the batters start to slip and slide in the batter's box, and probably the most important factor is, can guys get a grip on the baseball? If a pitcher cannot comfortably handle that ball without throwing it behind some hitters or over their heads or to the backstop, that's about the point you'd have to stop the game.
Air has a sign from Soto. Now a 2-2 pitch. We'll do it again. Scott's contract was a 3-year deal signed in November of '05. The 3rd year, or next year, is his option year. He can opt out after 2007. He's been with the White Sox, Blue Jays, Giants, and now the Cubs. They're going to check down at third. Sam Holbrook said he held up, so it's 3-2 with the bases loaded. The Cubs are trying to hang in there, but they need the bullpen to get them out of this 6th inning. Trailing by 3. The 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. A little foul tip into the glove of Soto. 2 down.
Good battle that time between the youngster and Scott Air. Scott finally gets him out on a good fastball at the outside corner at the knees. Going to have to work his way through one more left-handed hitter to get out of this jam.
McLouth gets the start today for Jason Bay, and he hits it to center. Jock Jones backpedaling. He has it, and Scott Air comes on and leaves him loaded. On to the 7th from a rainy PNC Park. It's 7-4 Pirates.
Some people see style. Some people see performance. We all see something that catches our eye. Like the Pontiac G6. The same fuel economy as Camry, with even more horsepower. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
Now the 2007 G6 sedan starts at $16,895. But hurry, because inventory is limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by LoCheck, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
What was once a measure of precision is now being taken for a little drive. An available 6-speed automatic, paddle shifters, and highly responsive electronic power steering. the Lexus IS. At your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Tuesday, Central rivals collide in Houston as Derek Lee and the Cubs square off with the Astros, followed by Cubs postgame live. Cubs-Astros available in widescreen format. Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
U.S. Cellular Bears postgame live after every game with former Bears Dan Jiggets, Jerry Azuma, and Jim Miller. We'll bring you the Bears press conferences, and William Jackson is live outside the Bears locker room with player reaction. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover's Sports Night. Coming up tonight at 10. Highlights of today's Bears game in San Diego, plus an update on the NL Central race. Join Luke and Carrie for Land Rover Sports Night tonight at 10. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Captain Jolly Roger and the Pittsburgh Pirates leading the Cubs in the rubber game today. Right-hander Romulo Sanchez is now pitching, making his 6th appearance. He's a rookie, and he faces another rookie, Giovanni Soto. Ball 1.
Marshall hitting in the third. 2 hits, 1 walk. For Marshall hitting in the third. 2 hits, 1 walk. Woods, 1 walk. 1 walk for Woods.
Two balls, no strikes. Sanchez made his debut on August 26th in Houston. Recalled the day before from Double-A Altoona. He was 6-3 with a .281, had 52 strikeouts and 57 2/3 innings. There's a drive to left. Nate McLouth back near the 378 sign. Gone! A home run. Giovanni Soto makes it 7-5. That's his first major league home run.
Well, congratulations to Giovanni Soto. That won't be his last. I'll tell you, if he continues to swing the bat the way he has since his recall, this guy's going to have a great career both behind the plate and at the plate. Nice, quick, compact swing. Very little stride at all. Just kind of picks up the front heel, puts it right back down on the ground, and turned that fastball around.
So the Cubs getting back in it on home runs. Swing and a miss by Soriano. For Soto, that's his 27th home run if you include 26 at AAA. He was the Pacific Coast League Player of the Year. So they're down only 2. Well, if the Cubs are able to come all the way back, remember what Scott Air just did, getting out of that jam in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, and he struck out Morgan and got McLouth on a fly to center. Off the end of the bat, and Wilson will get it. Sean Marshall with an inning and a third, did not give up a run. Michael Wirtz walked the only batter he faced. Carmen Pignatello, 2/3 of an inning, no runs. Kevin Hart was charged with 1 in an inning and a third. It was a rough start for Steve Traxel. 2 innings, 6 runs.
Boy, obviously it's secondary to winning a ball game and maintaining your grip on this division, but you always like to win on getaway day. There's just something about that victory, going back in for the post-game meal and getting on the bus to the airport, climbing on that airplane to fly back to Chicago for the 1-game series against the Cardinals. Yeah, most managers will tell you, if you're only going to win 1 game of a series, make it be getaway day. Cubs have a chance to win 2 games in this series if they come back and win this one today.
Jack Wilson throws out Ryan Theriot. Ryan's 0 for 4. Well, let's see. The Cubs just had a getaway day Thursday. Yeah, 1 today. One tomorrow, one Thursday, another one coming up Sunday. A lot of getaway days.
We mentioned the tarps were on the field here at PNC Park this morning because of the rain, but I'll tell you, as far as visiting clubhouses go, it's pretty tough to beat the one here at PNC Park just for the fact that the batting cage is right off of the visitors clubhouse. You just walk out a doorway, you go out one door, you're in the kitchen, you go out another door, you're in the shower room, and you go out the third door and you're in the batting cage. So on a morning like this where a lot of guys may have passed on optional batting practice because the cages are out underneath the bleachers or on the home side of the field, very easy for the Cubs hitters who chose to just walk out the door, go in the batting cage, get some cuts in, get ready to play a ball game.
Fastball missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lee. Bears fan, Cubs fan, ready for action today. Going to be a tough one for the Bears in San Diego. If Lee can get on, he'll put the tying run, Aramis Ramirez, at the plate. At one time, the Cubs trailed this one 7-2. Been a busy inning for Jack Wilson. But he makes the final 3 plays after the leadoff home run, the first of Giovanni Soto's major league career. And the Cubs trail now by just 2.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserve your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
When life comes at you fast, you can depend on 2 things: Chevy Tahoe and OnStar. The 07 Tahoe comes with 1 year of the OnStar Safe and Sound plan, including help if you get locked out or your truck is stolen, and diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. And it's got the best coverage in America. Chevy and OnStar, for life at any speed. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Letting up, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
At the end of a long, hot day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Highlights, breaking news, interviews, and more time to tell in-depth stories. It's all on Sports Night. Every night only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Become a founding member of the Cubs Club, the new official online fan club for the Chicago Cubs. Members will receive benefits unavailable to other fans, including a membership card, access to the post-game press conferences, 24/7 interactive cameras of Wrigley Field, and exclusive editorial content provided by the staff of Vineline. Join today by visiting Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Well, as we look ahead, the upcoming pitching probables tomorrow afternoon, the makeup game against St. Louis. It'll be a rematch of the last time the Cardinals and Cubs met up, and Pinheiro beat Ted Lilly. And then in that Houston series, Jason Marquis against Brandon Backey. Backey coming off Tommy John surgery. It'll be his second start since returning. Rich Hill will face rookie left-hander Troy Patton on Wednesday. Carlos Zambrano penciled in, not official, and he'll probably face Woody Williams on Thursday. And they're just finishing the 7th inning stretch here in Pittsburgh, and this ball game is not over. The Cubs are down only 2 runs.
And the grounds crew once again between innings busily tossing diamond dry around some of the areas of the field that have taken on more rain than others, and the rain has slowed once again just to that very light mist we had in the early going.
The big inning was capped off by Freddie Sanchez as the Pirates scored 6 times in the second. Half those runs came on a Sanchez triple. And he almost had an inside the park grand slam. Check swing. He went too far. 1 strike on Sanchez. Two strikes.
Couple of good sliders from Scott Air. We haven't seen that kind of a swing from a right-handed hitter against Air's slider in a long time. Check swing on the first pitch, and that time Sanchez swung right over the top. Coming back with another one. I think that's one of those if it ain't broke don't fix it syndromes. There's an old cliche in the game. You don't throw the same pitch 3 times in a row to a hitter, but when you get an awkward check swing and a swing and a miss on the first 2, for me you keep throwing it till he shows you he's picking that pitch up out of your hand and either laying off or taking a better swing at it. He'll come with another slider.
And Sanchez whiffs. Soto will pick up the baseball and fire to lead. Well, it's a final. The Brewers clubbed the Cincinnati Reds 10-5. Milwaukee will jump on a plane and head to Pittsburgh to start a series tomorrow. So if the Cubs want to remain in first place for a 24th consecutive day, they're going to have to come back and win. Right now they're a half game out. With the Brewers winning in Cincinnati. Last night they erased a 3-0 deficit and won on a Ricky Weeks 9th inning RBI triple. So that upcoming series here, which the Cubs will have a lot of interest in, Carlos Villanueva and Tony Armas tomorrow night, Giovanni Gallardo and Brian Bullington, a right-hander on Tuesday, and then Dave Bush and Tom Gorzolani Wednesday afternoon.
Well, with any luck, Gorzolani will be as good against the Brewers as he was against the Cubs the other night. It was one of the best performances we've seen by a lefty all season.
You saw that bat on its end as Jose Bautista is swinging the weighted bat. 2 strikes on LaRoche. Another home run for A-Rod, his 52nd. The Yankees lead at Kansas City 5-3. A-Rod hit 2 last night and set a new single season record for a third baseman with 49. He's hit a couple as a DH. It was Mike Schmidt and Adrian Beltre who held the previous record of 48.
I think a lot of people would have guessed Mike Schmidt. I doubt if very many would have guessed Adrian Beltre.
And it was his final year with the Dodgers. ...2004. Led the majors that year with 48. Then signed a 5-year contract with the Mariners in the offseason. Swing and a miss, and 2 down. Third strikeout for Scott Air.
A nice job retiring the first 2 batters here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. I think if either one of these guys would have reached, we'd have seen Kerry Wood in the ball game right now to face the right-handed hitting Jose Bautista, but because there's 2 outs and nobody on base, I think they're going to let Scott Air go ahead and try to work his way out of this inning.
Yeah, so A-Rod with that home run, the first third baseman in history to hit 50 in a single season. 52 overall on the year. Cardinals in Arizona coming up. Brad Thompson and Doug Davis. Bad break for the Diamondbacks. Their second baseman, Orlando Hudson, done for the year with a torn ligament in his left thumb. He'll have surgery, I guess, tomorrow. Pop foul.
Now, former Cub Augie Ojeda getting some starts at second base for the Diamondbacks. I'm not sure if he's the long-term fix for the remainder of the year, but he's the guy that's been getting most of the playing time with Hudson on the shelf.
Arizona's lead in the West, 2 games. D-backs have won 4 in a row. Padres are trailing 3-0 in Colorado as they bat in the 3rd inning. The top 3 there. Garrett Atkins with his 21st home run. San Diego 2 out in the West, but 2.5 up in the wild card. Dodgers are in second in the wild card. They'll be at San Francisco. That's ball 4, and Bautista keeps the inning alive. We also got a lot of emails today regarding the facial hair of Lou Piniella. We haven't asked him about it. I believe he might have been asked before the game about it. Looks like he's getting into that hockey Stanley Cup playoff mode. Giovanni trying to find the ball. He does. And the tag applied. They got him. Looked like Bautista was easily going to be able to get in, but Soto nailed him. Boy, Giovanni has made an impact on this game. He hadn't even been in there long. His first career home run and then a caught stealing. 7-5 to the 8th.
Free to move about the country. Hey Cubs fans, tune into Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
U.S. Cellular Bears postgame live after every game on Comcast Sportsnet. Thanks, best friend.
Here's the Sharp Aquas detail of the game. Freddie Sanchez hit a screamer to straightaway center with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. That ball, as you saw, tailed to the left. Jock got a bad jump on it, got all the way by him. He was able to eventually get Sanchez at the plate as the relay throw was made in time, but 3 runs scored to make it 6-2 at the time. Now it's 7-5. And Sean Chacon is on for the Pirates. What a play by Giovanni Soto to end the 7th inning. He does not get credited with a caught stealing because we know the catchers never get a break, but he did throw out Bautista, who was trying to advance as that ball got away from the catcher.
I was even a little surprised he tried to throw this ball, but he grabs it barehanded. He sees he has a chance at second base, and a quick tag out there by Mark DeRosa, slapping that glove down in front of the bag and just pulling it up out of there as if he had him the whole way, and they nip Bautista at second base. Nice throw, nice tag.
So it goes 2-4.
On that last play second, make it 2-4 rather than 2-6.
Sean Chacon against Aramis Ramirez. Ball one low. Aramis was going to take that all the way no matter what. 2-0 the count. The starters today, Traxel for the Cubs. He was knocked out after 2, allowing 6 runs. Matt Morris went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs for the Pirates. 2-1.
You saw Chacon for a couple of outs in the first game of this series in relief of Tom Gorzolani. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, walked a batter, did not allow a run. Those are the numbers we talked about on Friday night when Chacon came in. Aramis Ramirez owns this guy. 5 career home runs in 16 at bats.
Well, there have been 999 home runs hit in this ballpark as Ramirez turns on it, left field corner. Another hit for him against Chacon, and the tying run will come up. You know, 1 home run away from 1,000 all-time in this ballpark. I thought Aramis might have a shot. He's hit 36 in his career here, 4th all-time. The Cubs will gladly take the leadoff double.
Came on a slider that just hung on the inside part of the plate for him. Ramirez hooks it down into that left field corner. Good start here to the 8th inning for the Cubs. Some of the waterlogged Cub fans starting to be heard now.
Chanting "Let's go Cubbies." Foul strike on Merton. Final time the Cubs will play here in Pittsburgh, and it hasn't been easy. They're 4-4. Pirates have gone toe-to-toe with them. It's not going to move the runner up. Ramirez back to second. I mean, you always hope for a big inning, but if you can at least get 1 here, give yourself a chance against Matt Capps in the 9th.
Oh, and that was obviously a very non-productive out right there. You would have liked to seen Ramirez at least be advanced to third base with 1 out in the inning, and as you said, try to push 1 across here and take your chances in the 9th, but that little tapper back to the mound didn't get it done.
Looked like Osorio and Graybo up for the Pirates. Curveball inside on Jones. Kerry Wood for the Cubs. Lined, and fortunately Ramirez able to get back to second. Bautista with a catch.
Man, that's too bad. That ball was headed for the left field corner as well. It would have been a run in, a runner at second. Unfortunately hit it right to Bautista at third base. Yeah, that ball is slicing. If it gets over his head, it rolls all the way down into that left field corner. D-Row hadn't gone deep for a while.
I think it's time. Not going to happen. Wilson skidded a little bit with his right spike, but able to stay on his feet, throw out DeRosa, so the leadoff double goes for naught. Last of the 8th, 7-5 Pittsburgh.
I've always had this dream to be a car designer. From a very early age, I was drawing cars on every piece of paper I could find, and at age 11, I wrote Cadillac, and I was very interested in what was it that I needed to do to become a designer. I'm still following their advice, and my dream cars, they came true.
More passion, more heart, more desire. For pure competition, nothing gives you more than college sports. Big 12, Big 10, ACC. Choose from hundreds of games featuring dozens of sports on College Sports TV and Fox College Sports, part of the new Sports Pack from Mediacom. Plus, Sports Pack includes the Tennis Channel, Sportsman Channel, and Goal TV, and is now available to current Mediacom digital cable customers for only $3.95 a month. Just call 888-333-4039. The new Sports Pack, only on Mediacom.
Bigger, bitter, better.
Bigger, boogle. Bigger, better, bump.
Relax. Talk all you want with Mediacom Phone. All your calls in the U.S. and Canada are included for one low monthly fee. Plus popular calling features like voicemail and caller ID. All for one low monthly fee. Say goodbye to old-fashioned phone service. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV and get Mediacom Phone for as low as $29.95 a month.
Call 1-800-CABLE-TV.
Good call.
Watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
Time now for a Cadillac Sports Update.
Hi, everyone. Mitch Robinson with you. More Cubs baseball in a moment, but later today, don't forget, as soon as the Bears-Chargers game ends, flip it over to Comcast Sportsnet for Bears Postgame Live. We'll bring you live interviews and Lovie Smith's postgame press conference. That and more the minute the game ends. But now, more Cubs baseball in Pittsburgh. Here's Len and Bob. Bring it home, guys.
All right, Mitch, thanks. It's a 2-run deficit as Kerry Wood pitches in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs had a chance in the top of the frame. Aramis Ramirez led it off with a double, but then Sean Chacon retired Merton, Jones, and DeRosa to get out of it. Wood against Steve Pearce. You just joined us. Milwaukee won at Cincinnati 10-5, so the Cubs need to win to remain tied for first.
Line on air, leading 2/3, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. From there, leading 2/3. We'll check the strikeouts. It's 3 strikeouts. Leading 2/3, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
Very encouraging outing from Scott Air. He walked 1, but he did not give up a hit. He struck out 3.
And possibly the best slider we've seen from Scott Air in a long time. Got some check swings, got some swings and misses.
Updated standings. The Cardinals trying to get back to 500 in Arizona today. They're going to get in pretty late, as they'll play the Cubs tomorrow in a makeup game. Swing and a miss. Full count. 92 on the fastball from Woody. Paid crowd today, 21,861. Smallest attendance of the weekend. And certainly the weather has something to do with it. Ball 4 and the leadoff man is on. A lot of guys, when they come up to the plate, they'll stick their bat out toward the outside part of the plate, tap it, maybe tap the inside part. Ronnie Polino has such a long reach. When he taps, it's several inches off the plate. Base hit to right. Merton has to go get it. That ball really slowed down in the wet grass. 1st and 3rd. starting to get a little treacherous in the outfield. The outfielders have to be very careful when they not only field the ball but come up and throw it.
Yeah, you make sure to. Castillo hasn't done much as a pinch hitter this year for the Pirates. Only 3 for 24. However, against Kerry Wood in his career, he's 3 for 5 with a home run. So, you know, sometimes when you see that pinch hitter come up there, there's a reason why he's hitting in this particular situation and not some of the more used pinch hitters that Jim Tracy has available on that bench.
Ullman throwing in the pen. The infield is drawn in. Ball 1 on Castillo.
Well, you saw Woody react to that non-call there. Thought he had strike 1 on the outside corner, but did not get the call from home plate umpire Randy Marsh.
Oh, what a play by Soto. Saved a run, at least for the time being. He's been an all-star today, and he didn't even come into the game until the 6th inning.
We saw Jason Kendall make a similar stop early in the ball game with Steve Traxel on the mound. And once again, that fastball in the dirt always catches you by surprise.
Castillo was late, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Now he has to throw a strike. Fastball has been riding about 90, 91, 92. He has walked 2 in the inning. 17 pitches. He's missed the zone 12 times. A big 3-1. Called strike. 3-2. Carey has faced 4 hitters in this inning. He has not thrown a first pitch strike. He's been behind everybody. Made his season debut on August 5th. 1 day shy of 14 months since his previous major league appearance. He has worked in relief exclusively since coming back. Here we go again. Well, that would have been ball 4, but Castillo in a very defensive position. Still 3-2 after the foul.
Fastball runs up and in. Looked like Castillo was committed to swing at whatever Woody threw up there that time. That was just a self-defense swing.
Another 3-2. He reached out. Fair ball. Derek Lee is livid with a first base umpire, Bob Davidson, as the Pirates get a couple runs. I tell you, it looked foul to me. I mean, we are way up top. Derek is convinced that ball was foul, but it was called fair, and it's now 9-5.
Well, obviously at this point in a rainy day, there's not going to be any chalk flying if that ball does hit on the foul line. Derek had a great view of it. He's looking right down the line as that ball gets by him. Bob Davidson initially has to get out of the way, and then he assumes the position, and boy, really hard to tell. Looked like it might have hit on the outside of that foul line. Of course, any part of the ball hitting any part of the line, and it's considered a fair ball. Well, difference of opinion there. Bob Davidson and T-Bone Shelby, the first base coach, pointed fair. Derek Lee pointed foul.
May have caught just the outside part of the chalk, and the person who had the best view was Bob Davidson. So it's now 9-5, and Wood is out, Ullman is in, and we'll be back to Pittsburgh in a moment.
We've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
Chicagoans love their pizza. That's why you come to Giordano's. Some for 30 years now. We use only the finest ingredients to make Giordano's famous stuffed pizza, our equally famous thin crust pizza. Plus salads, pastas, sandwiches, and more. Come on into Giordano's and celebrate 30 great years with us. Giordano's famous stuffed pizza. We made it good. You made it famous.
Of course Geico sponsors Mike's Race Car because they insure everything race car fans love. RVs, motorcycles, ATVs. Tell you one thing they can insure: Lauren Wallace. Because Lauren Wallace is made of lightning. Those guys are like, hey, where's Lauren? He was just here a minute ago. I'm 100 miles away, son. Ready to strike.
Geico, saving you money on insurance for your car. And
the infield is still in. Niger Morgan takes strike one from left-hander Will Oman. Still nobody out. The two-run double by Jose Castillo, making it 9-5 Pirates. A bouncer to Lee, and he has Wilson caught up. The throw goes to third. Wilson spinning around, trying to give the other runners an opportunity. And he's going to tag. Who's going to be out? Going to be the back runner, Castillo, as there were two Pirates at third base. So Wilson stays alive. He gave Morgan a chance to get to second base. Bottom line is, same result as if nobody ran, and Lee had just touched first base.
Wilson gets hung up in the rundown here, does a nice job of changing direction quickly, anticipating throws. That's not a textbook way to run down a guy, but once you have that second runner on the bag there at third, Derek Lee does exactly the right thing, run him all the way back to the bag, tag both of them, but the runner who was on third base is the guy who's entitled to third base, so Castillo called out.
Ready? 3-5-2-6-3. That number again, 3-5-2-6-3. To get Castillo. Morgan with a fielder's choice. I'll tell you what, Wilson stopped as the throw went to third. If he had kept going to the plate, it might have been very, very close. Soto blocks it again. 2 balls, no strikes.
No, the big trade-off there is you've got much better speed at second base now with Morgan than you did have before with Castillo.
Lou Piniella has used 8 pitchers today, including the starter Traxel. And the bases are loaded, and Will Ullman's going to have to face Freddie Sanchez.
And nobody throwing in the Cubs bullpen at this point. Looks like it's Ullman's game the rest of the way.
That's 7 walks allowed by the Cubs pitchers. In case you're wondering, with a 3-5-2-6-3, that's the zip code for Birmingham, Alabama. Nice job in our production truck for coming up with that gem.
Good day for Freddie Sanchez. Cubs looking for the double play ball right here. He's done that 13 times this year.
A bouncer in the hole. Terrio will go to second base, and they get only one out. They're fortunate to get one. Wilson scores the 10th run for the Pirates.
That ball just hit too slowly and too far in the hole for the Cubs to be able to turn to. Ryan Terrio gives it a good effort, throwing off balance off his back foot in that muddy area over there by shortstop, but just no opportunity for DeRosa to throw on to first and try to complete that double play.
Going to be a rough line for Kerry Wood. He's been charged with 3 runs and did not record an out. John Shelby had to get out of the way in the first base coach's box. Kerry gave up 2 walks and 2 hits before being removed for Ullman. Called strike, 0-2.
I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, there used to be a little toy that had the face of a bald-headed man, and there were metal shavings in it, and you used to have a magnetic wand, and you would drag the metal shavings around to put hair and a beard and eyebrows. Every time I look at Adam LaRoche, I think about that thing.
Okay.
Thick, bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
He's always got a, you know, a 3 or 4 day growth going. I think it was called Mr. Whiskers or something like that.
Yeah, those are the kinds of things, unfortunately, you think about in a 10-5 ball game. Mr. Whiskers will go to the 9th. 10.
Fellas, leave the tight pants to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Some people see style. Some people see performance. We all see something that catches our eye, like the Pontiac G6. The same fuel economy as Camry, with even more horsepower. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
Now the 2007 G6 sedan starts at $16,895. But hurry, because inventory is limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Fellas, leave the tight pants to the ladies. If I can count the coins in your pocket, you better use them to call a tailor. Stay thirsty, my friends.
After the game, stick around for Cubs Post-Game Live. Get highlights of all the action and analysis from Dan Plesac. Don't miss Cubs Post-Game Live immediately following the contest right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. A non-save spot for the Pirates. 9th inning man, Matt Capps.
And we did see Matt Capps on Friday. Pitched a scoreless 9th inning in a non-save situation. Second half of the season in 22 ball games before today, a 1.59 ERA, and has not allowed a home run in 15 games.
A long afternoon for the Chicago Cubs. Cliff Floyd will pinch hit to start the 9th.
Cubs need a bunch of base runners here in the ninth. And you're probably going to have to earn them because Matt Capps rarely walks anybody.
First pitch strike. Well, if it stays this way, Matt Morris will pick up his first win against the Cubs since June 9th, 2004, when he beat Mark Pryor. As a member of the Cardinals, it would also be his 12th career win against the Cubs. That would tie for the most against all opponents. He also has 12 wins against Houston. It would also drop Steve Traxel to 0-2 in as many starts in his return to the Cubs. His last time out, he was a lot better. Had a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs, even though he did take the loss to the Dodgers. Well, we wish the Tennessee Smokies the best of luck in Huntsville tonight as they continue their best-of-5 playoff series in the AA Southern League. Smokies trying to close it out, leading 2-1. Jeff Samardzija got a no decision last night. Eric Patterson 3 for 4 with a 3-run homer. A flare out in the shallow left, but it's going to be caught by the shortstop Wilson. Left-hander Donnie Veal will take the ball tonight. Casey McGee, Ismael Salas each went 3 for 4. McGee with a 2-run homer, a double, and a run. Salas with a triple, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs. We got a good look at Casey McGee, a third baseman and catcher in spring training. Giovanni Soto with his first major league home run in the 7th inning. That was his first at bat today.
You know, Soto came on defensively as part of a double switch in the 6th inning and has been one of the few bright spots in the game today for the Cubs, both offensively and behind the plate. Not only hit his first career home run, threw out a guy at second base.
And our Nissan drive of the game, the first major league home run, and as you said, first of many for Giovanni Soto.
Just a quick bat for a big, strong kid. He gets that bat through the strike zone in a hurry.
Love how he just shot right out of the batter's box. Not quite sure it was going to be gone. He was able to slow up a little bit around first base, but he didn't admire it.
Well, Giovanni's watched a couple of games in this ballpark the last 2 days, and he's seen some of those drives to left center and left field just die out there on the warning track, so he wasn't taking any chances.
Dribbled foul near Mike Quade, the Cubs' third base coach. Well, he never did turn on the lights. It's been drizzling all afternoon. The first thing they'll do the minute this game ends, the grounds crew will throw that tarp on the infield. They have a game tomorrow night against Milwaukee, and they'll probably turn on the lights. Called strike 3 for the second out. The producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, Bob Albrecht. Our director is Dave Turner. Our associate producer, Tamara Anderson. Our stage manager in the booth, Gary Gale. Chuck Jackson is our technical director. The executive producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is Jim Corno Jr. Great work by our entire crew, really all season long here in Pittsburgh. Our third and final trip here. And it hasn't been a lot of fun. The Cubs will drop to 4-5 here and 5-7 overall. The only chance they'll have to win the season series will be to sweep the Pirates in what will be the final home series of the season for the Cubs in a couple of weeks. Ball one, 1-2. Check swing, and he held up. Cubs are ready to get back home, if even for just a day, to play the Cardinals tomorrow. Swing and a miss, and that's it. So the Cubs will try to get back on track in the makeup game tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals. And for the first time in over 3 weeks, the Cubs drop out of first place. Milwaukee winning at Cincinnati 10-5. And the Cubs losing here today 10-5 as well. And so they're a game out. Still a long way to go. Cubs have 20 games remaining. But they have not really been able to figure out the Pittsburgh Pirates this year.
Well, the Pirates have a very talented ball club. They haven't had the kind of year they were expecting to have, but they're a dangerous team if you don't play them tough. And unfortunately, the Cubs have not played the Pirates tough this year.
Well, you've heard this before, but you just hope the Pirates stay hot because they're going to host Milwaukee starting tomorrow. So the Cubs are a game back. The Cardinals will be getting underway in about 7 or 8 minutes in Arizona. 2.5 back. And that'll wrap up our game coverage. Stay tuned for post-game live. Once again, the final score today, the Pirates 10, the Cubs 5. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet will be Tuesday night at 7 o'clock from Minute Maid Park in Houston. The pitching matchup that night, Jason Marquis for the Cubs, right-hander Brandon Backey for the Astros. Winning pitcher today, Matt Morris. He evens up his season mark at 9-9. Steve Traxel drops to 0-2. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hey everyone, Mitch Robinson with you. Don't go anywhere because Cubs Postgame Live is up next. We'll have highlights from the Brewers-Reds game, update the division standings, and look ahead to tomorrow's makeup game at Wrigley. Dan Plesac joins me on Cubs Postgame Live. Don't go anywhere.
The next generation Nissan Altima. Recently awarded 5 stars for crash safety, the highest mark possible. Yup, it's that good. The Nissan Altima from just $19,800 at your Nissan dealer now.
Honey? I think this might be our lucky day.
I think it might be.
I think this is what we've been waiting for.
I think it is.
Yes!
It turned blue!
Introducing the Coors Light Cold Activated Bottle. The mountains turn from white to blue when your beer reaches the perfect temperature.
It's blue like your eyes.
My eyes are green!
Only from Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
I see skies of blue.
Some discover it through the wonder of others. Some experience it volunteering their time, while others find it through the expectation of tomorrow. It's wellness. And at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, yours means the world to us. Because when it all comes together, we want to give you the confidence to experience wellness everywhere.
What a wonderful world.
The 2007 Chevy Equinox. It comes with a 5-star crash safety rating and something Ford and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America, including the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Protection never looked so good. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. Bacardi Rum, if you're going to drink, be responsible. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Pontiac, 9 performance machines, all designed for action.
Well, the Cubs fall to the Pirates 10-5. And Steve Traxel 0-2 as a member of the Cubs, 6-10 overall. Matt Morse evens his record at 9-9 on the season. Hello again, everyone. Alongside Dan Plesac, I'm Mitch Robinson. Welcome to the Cubs post-game live. It's a 10-5 finish, and the Cubs fall out of first place. First time in about 3 weeks. It was a nice run up there. Now they just have to see if they can regroup tomorrow and get right back at the Cardinals and knock them down a peg.
Well, this was a tough one because the Cubs have had a very difficult time bunching some runs together early in the game. It seems like they're constantly playing catch-up. Unfortunately, today they were able to give Steve Traxel a couple of runs early on, have a lead going into the second inning, and Steve just wasn't able to stop the bleeding in the second inning.
And the big reason for that, let's take a look in the bottom of the second. The play that broke it open. Traxel pitching to Freddie Sanchez, hits a line shot, and it goes for an RBI triple past Jock Jones' outstretched glove. Sanchez coming around would try the inside the park grand slam, but they nail him at the plate. But as you look at the replays, Dan, it just looks like Jock took 2 steps the wrong way before he went to the right direction.
Well, either one of two things. This ball is either hard to pick up from the shirts, from the background, or, you know, you're anticipating the ball hit by a right-hander. Most of the time when it's hit out to center field, it's going to tail away from you. That ball kind of hooked, and he broke towards the right center field gap. His initial step kind of got himself a little crossed up, and that was a huge play. But the bottom line was, you know, Steve Traxel didn't have it today, and we touched on a little bit in the pregame. Hopefully with his veteran ability that he would be able to somehow figure things out. He just had labored through that second inning. He was a couple of different instances, one pitch away from getting out of the inning, wasn't able to make that big pitch, and that particularly an 0-2 pitch on that ball that was hit to center field. You know, it's such a fine line between a good game and a bad game. A bad read turned into a bad play.
Here is the second inning. Traxel, the base hit up the middle, just getting past him. All this with one out. That scores a run to get the Pirates on the board. Then another one right down the middle. No movement on the fastball. And now one deep over Jock Jones' head. Goes for a double to make it second and third. Man comes in, and it's a tie game. And, of course, then the base is loaded. Shot. Another shot right at the middle.
Well, it's just a matter of Steve Traxel just leaving the ball up over the middle of the plate. His off-speed pitches weren't as effective, and here this was really the deciding blow of the game early on. If he could have kept it at 3-2, you know, give the Cub offense a chance. And this was just a big difference in this game right now. This turned into from 3-2 to 6-2, and the Cubs were fortunate on this play because it was very close to, you know, Freddie Sanchez getting his foot underneath that tag.
I thought it was a grab, but hey, we'll take it. All right, so Traxel only lasts 2 innings in your Felco pitching recap. He gives up 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk through 47 pitches. That's it. Matt Morris went 6 innings. He gave up 4, 2-2, as you see, 89 pitches. Morris now 1-1 since coming over to the Pirates, and he is 9-9 on the season. And if you look at Matt Morris's stuff, top of the first inning, Derek Lee at the dish, 2-1 count, gets him to ground it out to shortstop.
Well, just one of the things that he does, he's not the power-type pitcher that he was a couple of years ago. He's had some problems with his arm, and here again, one of the bugaboos. The Cubs had something going there. The double play ball hurt.
And then there is Alfonso Soriano getting into one. That was a 2-run shot. Soriano is on fire, and it made it a 3-run game. And actually, I pulled him within 1 at that point. And then there, the lineup by Jason Kendall. So Morris ends the 6th inning, gets out of it, and he gives up just the 4 runs for him. So the veteran that is the highest paid pitcher in the history of Pittsburgh Pirate Baseball gets the win.
Well, and this was really a game where the Cubs had it back to within 7-5, and unfortunately, Kerry Wood just didn't have it today. And I think what you're seeing with Kerry Wood is typical of a guy that had little or no spring training, hasn't really had much competitive pitching up until about June or July. And I think what you're seeing now, not very good command of his fastball, his breaking ball at times is good. His whole overall game is not real sharp right now, and those were a couple of big runs. If the Cubs could have kept that at 7-5 going into the 8th and 9th inning, you're a bloop and a long ball away from getting right back and tying that ball game. Well, you get down 4 or 5 runs going into the 8th and 9th, it makes it awfully tough.
As we go to break, we check out our Pontiac opinion poll, and we want to ask, if you're the Cubs manager, what game would you have Carlos Zambrano start? A, Thursday against the Astros. B, Friday against the Cardinals. Go to ComcastSportsNet.com, click on Chicago, click on the Cubs page, and vote. We've got the results coming up in a bit.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. The first pickup with side curtain airbags. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever and grab life for a lifetime.
Four Seasons, the largest family-owned and operated heating and air conditioning contractor, has simple goals: provide exceptional service at the best possible price and offer products that leave you nothing but satisfied. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich.
See that house? I built that house.
Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Find out more at ytundra.com.
Bigger, better, bitter.
Bigger, better bundle. Bigger, better bumble. Bigger.
Wait, getting better TV is easy with the digital 2-star pack, part of the Bigger, Better bundle, with up to 43 channels of Stars and Showtime, plus 2,000 on-demand titles that you can start, rewind, pause, and fast forward with your remote.
Can't do that with a dish.
Get the Mediacom digital 2-star pack with Showtime on demand for only $9.95 a month for a year.
Call 1-800-CABLE-TV. Good call.
J.D. Power Automotive Ratings. Everybody wants them. We've got them. See them for yourself in our new interactive video buying guides, now at vehix.com.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
For every Cubs victory this season, National City is proud to make a donation to Rhino Kid Care. Please visit rhinokidcare.com.
You may have heard Len Casper mention, here are the highlights. Brewers in Cincinnati. Ricky Weeks leading off the game, and Ricky steps into one and jacks it out. Leadoff homer, Milwaukee piles on after that. Next batter, J.J. Hardy, and Hardy steps in and steps out. Opposite field, back-to-back long balls for Milwaukee to open the inning. And how about one more? Okay, Ryan Braun. Back-to-back-to-back. Starts the
back-to-back-to-back jacks?
Yeah, it's the back-to-back-to-back jacks. Milwaukee hits 6 in all, and they win it 10-5. When they hit the homers, they hit them in bunches.
Well, one of the things the Brewers have done all year is hit. They've been a lousy team at home. Their pitching has let them down, but they're getting back to scoring runs, and they're scoring them in bunches. And one of the things they do very well is they beat up on mediocre pitching. They get a 3, 4, and 5 starter. They can do some damage.
The Cardinals just starting in Arizona. No score early in that one. At the moment, they are 2.5 behind the Brewers. at the National City NL Central standings. Here's a look at the Four Seasons. Who's hot, who's not around the majors right now. Who's hot? Well, David Eckstein batting .458. Moises Alou. Can you believe that? Just keeps on going, doesn't it? And Chad Billingsley, 1-0 with a 0.69 ERA in 13 innings. Now, who's not? Rafael Furcal. Jose Reyes has been in a slump really for over a month. And Rick Vandenherk, 0-2, 8.68. With a name like that, you better be good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not Plesac, you know? It's Vandenherk. It's Vandenherk. All right, welcome back to Cubs Post Game Live. One of the bright spots today, Giovanni Soto. He is your Cubs catcher of the future. Future maybe next season for this kid. He's really coming on, and he looked good behind the plate and at the bat here. His first Major League homer. Solo shot in the 7th inning off Romulo Sanchez.
Well, he's really making a case, Mitch, for being a guy going into spring training right now that might be of Jason Kendall. Cubs probably uncertain what they're going to do. Jason free agent at the end of the season. He's done a very good job catching and receiving here. He makes a strong throw to second base. And I'm sure one of the things that Cubs really like is the fact that he swings a very potent bat. He was a AAA player of the year. He really doesn't have anything to prove down at the minor league level. He's going to get some valuable experience the next 3 weeks of the season and might make a case for him to be the #1 catcher going into spring training.
Did you like having a young guy back there who, gets up there? I mean, for a pitcher, how comfortable is it to have the rookie behind the plate as opposed to a Jason Kendall?
Well, it's nice to have a veteran catcher because they know the opposition. They kind of know what you're throwing, what you'd like to do, what pitches are working for you on a certain day, what to stay away from. And with a younger catcher, at times you have to be, as a pitcher, kind of to lead him on to what you like to throw, when you like to throw it, as opposed. It's nice when you have that veteran guy that can come out in the middle of an inning and say, hey, listen, you've got some good sink on your ball. Let's throw that sinker today. It looks good. Your ball's got good life on it.
Of course, if the rookie catcher calls for the shot that gives up a homer, you blame it on him, right?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
it's never my fault, all those home runs I gave up.
He put two fingers down.
And then if it's really going bad, you blame the catcher. You ask the guys on the other team, hey, was he telling you the signs?
Hey, one bright spot, many bright spots, say, for Pittsburgh, but in the outfield, this kid, Nyjer Morgan, man, he can play. Take a look at this catch early in the game. 3rd inning, Aramis Ramirez rips one, and watch Morgan get full extension.
Tell you what that looks like, a Mitch Robinson highlight from Pony League right there.
I would have taken a divot out with my gut.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have. You'd have gotten up like you stepped in a bucket. Sassy.
You're not normal. Nyjer Morgan, a beautiful play, robbing Aramis. Even Aramis couldn't believe it. The kid's young, he's fast, and he can play the game. Speaking of playing the game, Dan Plesac, and as we come back from our break, Dan will break down what's coming up next for the Cubs. And as we go to break, we look at the StubHub upcoming schedule for the Cubs. Of course, the big game at 2:20 tomorrow at Wrigley, the one-game makeup against the Cardinals, followed by the series in Houston, games 1 and 3, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And then Friday, mark it down, game 1 of a series in St. Louis, also right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The upcoming schedule is brought to you by StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets.
At GMC, we've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanting to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, isn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Good things go fast. Real fast. The Polaris Power Play sales event going on now until September 30th. Now's the time to get model year-end clearance offers. Rebates up to $800 on Polaris ATVs and rebates up to $600 plus 4.99% financing on Ranger utility vehicles. Check them out now at your local Polaris dealer, because before you know it, they'll be gone. Polaris.
the world's toughest ATVs.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Agility captured by the world's most advanced four-wheel active steering system. Now cornering is more precise, handling more responsive. The all-new 330 horsepower Infinity G Coupe. Intensity captured.
Welcome back. Looking at our Geico quote of the day, it's Yankees manager Joe Torre yesterday after Alex Rodriguez hit his 50th and 51st homers of the season. Torre said, quote, "I know he's my player, but it's hard to believe any player's numbers can hold up to what he's doing. I still marvel. We all do. It's an honor to watch this stuff," unquote. And, of course, today, A-Rod hit number 52, the 5th straight game he's homered, and he's doing this month what he did in April. It's just phenomenal. He may pass Barry Bonds next year.
You look at what he's been able to do, not only this season, and that is not a very hitter-friendly ballpark, what he's able to do in Yankee Stadium, a very deep left center field, and he really straightaway center field, remarkable talent.
Yeah, the guy's got a little talent. Let's check out our Pontiac opinion poll. He stepped into a bucket of sassy. Earlier in the show, we asked, if you're the Cubs manager, what game would you have Carlos Zambrano start? Would it be Thursday against the Stros or Friday against the Cardinals? You have spoken. You want to start game one against the Cardinals in St. Louis, 64.7%. Do you want to talk to me?
No, I want to see
what
all of them.
Just keep throwing them out there?
Pitch them every day.
But Len talked about this with Bob Brenly. When Carlos is on his regular routine, he's much more effective than when he gets shifted around. So therefore, when you look at the history, do you make sure he starts on Thursday then and not worry about it? Because you have to win every game, basically.
Well, that's a big question right now. You know, the Cubs are in a predicament right now. They find themselves one game back, and all these games now are so important. You ideally would like to look at the data and be able to say, hey, he pitches well on his normal day's rest, as opposed to moving him up a day or giving him that extra day. I mean, that's a great question right now. I don't really know what the right answer is. It's really going to have to be really up to Carlos Zambrano, how he feels, how the Cubs feel about the way the rest of the pitching he looks at before him and after him. But the games, to me, with the Cardinals are going to be huge games. I mean, if the Cardinals win today, you know, they're going to keep right pace with the Cubs and with the Brewers. So this is going right down to the last weekend. It's just unfortunate because, you know, the Cubs in Milwaukee let St. Louis back in, and Milwaukee really opened the door for the Cubs to take this and run with it, and they refused to do it. And now they put themselves in a spot where they're going to have to play great baseball to win this the rest of the way.
Well, let's see how that pitching matches up, and we begin with tomorrow's pitching matchup at Wrigley, 2:20. It's Ted Lilly against Joel Pinheiro. Lilly 14-7, a 3.85 ERA. He's thrown 180 innings. Opponents are only hitting 238 against him. Pinheiro has 43 strikeouts, 21 walks, a little higher ERA. And you look at Lilly, he's coming off a nice game, a win in his last one, 6 2/3 for the Cubs. Gave up only 2 earned runs and a walk. So that was the Lilly that we've been accustomed to seeing. He had the overhand curve working, and he had guys off balance.
Well, one of the things really, he has been, from the beginning of the season up to this point right now, he has been the Cubs' most dependable and reliable starter. You know, he's getting deep in the games. He'll get you into the 6th, 7th inning. He's had some games where he struggled early, giving up 3 or 4 runs early, finds a way to keep the score down to get into the 7th inning. He has been a very, very good signing by the Cubs. He and Jason Marquis, really, there were 2 guys that there were a lot of question marks when the season started. Did the Cubs have to overpay too many years, too much salary? But both of those guys have been more than they even thought they could have been up to this point, particularly with Carlos Zambrano being on again, off again, a bad April, bad May, and really in June and July, Zambrano, you could make a case, was the best pitcher in the National League. Then he went through that 6-game stretch. Hopefully right now he's got the wheels put back on, because they're going to need it.
You look at the money those guys were signed for. What would you have commanded?
Mitch Robinson kind of money. Big dollars.
You'd be eating
big money.
You'd be eating Chef Boyardee with me. He's Dan Plesac. I'm Mitch Robinson. The Cubs fall to the Pirates by a final of 10-5. They're off to Wrigley, a one-game playoff with the Cardinals. Don't forget on Comcast Sports that as soon as the Bears game ends, it's Bears Post-Game Live. Dan Boyle and a host of others with all the interviews and clubhouse reaction against the Chargers. But for now, I'm Mitch Robinson. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next time.
The Range Rover for 2007, designed for the extraordinary. Visit your local Land Rover Center.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Every Monday, catch the Bears recap on Comcast Sportsnet. Hear what Lovie Smith has to say about the previous game and get a preview of the upcoming weekend's matchup. Don't miss Bears recap every Monday at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
At GMC, we've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional.
Copa del Rey, Brazilian Cup, Serie A, La Liga. Catch top matches from South American and European leagues on Gold TV. Hundreds of soccer matches and behind-the-scenes features every month, all on the new Sports Pack from Mediacom. Plus, with Sports Pack, you get hard-to-find NCAA sports like field hockey, wrestling, and lacrosse, now available to digital cable customers for only $3.95 a month. Just call 888-333-4039. The new Sports Pack, only on Mediacom.
It's time you answered a few questions about your gambling. Do you gamble with others' money? Is your gambling hurting your friendships? Do you gamble because you're depressed? I did. And my gambling cost me my friendships and my job. It nearly got me evicted. But you don't have to lose like I did. You can get help. Just call 1-800-BETS-OFF. I did, and I'm back on my feet again.